Mr. President, welcome to Los Angeles.
Gavin, great to be here.
What are you?
Strong grip, Gavin, very strong.
Stop, please!
On your knees, that's better.
My
On your
hand.
knees, that's better. Yes, definitely. Get down on your knees. Down on your knees and suffer. Suffer. Suffer, Gavin, suffer. What's up, everybody? So glad everyone's here tonight. How you doing? My name is Jim, and I'm here to tell you the news. Some news in particular is better than other news, but it's all the same because it's all news to me. How's everybody doing? Narrowway, what's up? Great to see you. iRules here too. What's up? KP Kimby, what's up? Decapitation, we'll talk about it. Miss Hacker, Pat Hacker's here. Finch is here. What's up? Kevin's here. Anne Marie's here. Lady Bama's here. That's great. Ag is here. The Finch is here too. Pat Hacker, Miss Gatlin, Essie Gatlin's here. Awesome. Anyone else? And yeah, Wasted Quake Ranger was here also. I want to thank everybody who was here. And I'm going to start up the goal on YouTube right now. And the way the goal works is for every $100 in total that comes in across all platforms, YouTube Super Chats, Rumble Rants, becoming a member or gifting memberships on YouTube, Rumble, Kick, or Twitch, along with Cash App, PayPal, Coffee, Ko-Fi, and Super Tips. We add it all up, and when we hit $100, we add an extra hour to the show. And then for each additional $100 that comes in, we add another additional hour to the show. So the show could be as long as you guys want it to be. It could be 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 6, 8, 10, 12, whatever. And as an added bonus, when we hit 50, we activate the Bellavision for the evening. All right. Unless somebody is so generous that they donate $25 as an individual, then we automatically activate Bellavision at that point. So I want to thank everybody who is super generous with everything they do. And I want to announce that we actually hit Bellavision before the show even started tonight. I don't want to say his name, but a guy on Cash App just says for Jim and Bella, $25. His initials are JP, but I don't want to say who it is because I don't want to dox anybody's names and stuff like that. I hope so too. So yeah, so Bella is always need your Bella fix. That's right. So we're already just $75 away right now as we start from adding a first additional hour to the show. So let's jump right in. Let's do this. Yes, let's jump right in and get to the immediate news story. What is happening? Why is my computer acting crazy? All right. So we have our first news story of the evening. A high-level government official reportedly leaked President Trump's military plans and then tipped off Iran.
In the region, as the Middle East waits to see if a deal will be reached or we'll see a return to war. Guys,
So Trey, real quickly, the president talked about the military.
Oops, I wasn't sharing it. Oh, I wasn't sharing it. That's bad news for me. Is Bella feeling better tonight? Just a little better. She's feeling a little better. Hey, Dawn Darkstar, thank you so much for being here. Lady Bama, good to see you. Yes. Jet Trinity, how's it going? Hey, Dan, what's up? What's up? It's buffering. Hopefully it clears up. I hope it's not buffering. I mean, let me see what is happening here. I'll do a quick speed test and see what happens. A bit of an internet issues. I don't know. I don't think it's me. It could be StreamYard acting weird. I mean, according to this, I have 991 megabytes per second up and 966 megabytes per second down. So she got something bitter, Pat, something bitter on the eye, and her eye was all swollen. I don't know if it was a spider or some kind of fire ant or something bitter yesterday. And so her eye was bothering her really bad. So I should be good on my end. My internet seems to be really, really good. So I don't think it's me. If anything is buffering, it's probably directly YouTube or something.
in the region as the Middle East waits to see if a deal will be reached or we'll see a return to war. Guys?
So Trey, real quickly, the president talked about the military operation that was leaked over the weekend. It's obviously, they need to figure out who's leaking from the White House. That has to be someone high within government that put that out there to sources. It's our job as the press to cover that. But I'm curious from your perspective and your sources on the state of play that league played out in the Middle East, and who then phoned the White House to get to the negotiating table.
It's a great question because these leaks can be substantial. And when you're looking at a situation with 50,000 U.S. service members, destroyers, refuelers, fighter jets across the region, the operational security is very significant whenever there are plans being made to strike Iran. And the president indicated he called off the planned strikes at the request not only of Iran, but also of Gulf allies like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the UAE. What was interesting, though, Lawrence, we spoke with senior Israeli intelligence officials over the weekend who said they weren't even aware of the details of the plan. And that's how close the administration was holding these details to the chest because of how sensitive it is in the region. And so moving forward, we do anticipate the Trump administration will do everything possible to ensure that they're not giving Iran a heads up. They want to keep the Iranians guessing as these diplomatic pathways play out, understanding that if the talks fail, we are likely looking at a return to combat operations.
So obviously, Trey, we are seeing the White House trying to keep their cards close to the vest, but there is also a tremendous buildup. We've watched a tremendous buildup over the last couple of months. Some of that is.
So somebody's leaking the information, and then is this Trump's last chance? Is what this says. Ceasefire, string of broken ceasefire fuels doubt over the Iran deal. So this is not going to play for me. More than likely, it always acts real weird. Yeah. So I don't know what's going on. So Trump is warning that Iran it has one last chance to make a deal, even as Tehran denies the negotiations. Trump said persuading him to hold off on a major U.S. attack. Says the clash has left the status of diplomatic efforts unclear. Robert Gavea raid imminent. Oh, that's awesome. That's great. That's really great. I love when that happens. I wonder who got tipped and why. It is, isn't it? What's up, CF Rob? Great to see you. So there's certainly an element of posturing involved. While there is no talks in the sense of U.S. Iranian officials sitting in the same venue talking, Trump said diplomacy persuaded him to call off the planned attack. Trump warns Iran fighting isn't over and vows that the U.S. will win if the talks fade. Well, we will see. We will see. We will see what happens. So, Iran Iran Foreign Minister spokesman Ismail Baghai said, however, Tehran was neither holding talks with the U.S. nor expecting an American delegation. So Trump, in response, accused Iran's leadership of being unbelievably duplicitous. Hey, look at that. Robert Gavea rated the stream. Thank you so much, everybody. Thanks for being here. Please remember to hit the like. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It would be greatly appreciated. So, greatly appreciated. Really, really like for that to happen. Yes. So Trump, in response, accused Iran of being duplicitous. They asked for a meeting. Some would say beg, and then they act like they're not having one. Got to run. Rob back later. Well, thank you, Rob Raid. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Hey, what's up, Joe? Tardy fee. Good evening, everybody. Yes, Rob Raid. Rob Raid. Yeah. So with Joe's $2 now, that means we're 73 away from a first additional hour. As we started off with before the show even started, JP, I think. Is that what I said? I don't know. I'm really losing my mind now. Here we be. Hey, what's up? What's up, Texas and Oklahoma? Great to see you. Thanks for being here. Breaking up. What's breaking up? I'm breaking up. My sound is breaking up. What? So the first phase is opening the straits. The second phase will be denuclearization, and that'll take a little while. That's what they're saying. We've been hearing this for months now, though. Just Ron says, teleported over from Robert Gavea. Well, thank you. Thank you for being here. That's awesome. I really appreciate it. So Saudi Arabia and other great, awesome, great, just awesome. Just love when that happens. It's just fantastic. It's fantastic. Yeah, about every 40 seconds. So that's great. Yeah, I could tell there's like nobody watching now. We went from 180 to now nobody here. So it's kicking people out of the show. That's just great. Oh, hackers. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I really don't. I have no clue. But whatever. It is what it is. Please hit like. Please subscribe. YouTube games is bullshit. Yeah, there's something going on. I don't know. It's fine on Rumble. Yeah. Well. So Trump blasts the duplicitous Iran says this is their last chance to sign a good document. Well, we'll see. We'll see what's going on. I don't know. You know, I don't understand it at all. You know. There's clearly something going on. It was doing it on this other show I was watching earlier. Yeah, it's clearly a YouTube problem. Good news for new viewers. Bellavision was already purchased. Yes, it was. How's Bella's eye today? It's getting better. It's getting better. I put some cortisone cream on it, so it's getting better. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just one of those YouTube days. It is. Yeah. So Trump claims Iran wants to talk. Tehran denies it. Trump says Gulf allies halted planned attacks in favor of diplomacy. Iran says Hormuz talks with Oman are progressing. So oil prices are falling. So yeah, oil prices are down below, $75. They need to get under $70 a barrel for it to really start affecting our prices at the pump. It really, really does. Yeah, something's going on with YouTube, like crazy going on with YouTube, like really, really bad. So, President Trump told reporters that Iran conflict is working out well and that Tehran's last chance to sign a good document. So, and then the U.S. ambassador to NATO says that Iran can't speak with one voice, but we're closer than ever to a deal. Trump is being coy prior to the midterms. When Republicans win the midterms, things will get interesting. Well, let's hope so. Here is the plan to win. First, you throw a huge party in the streets. While the party's going on, you carpet bomb it with spam. They go to clean themselves. You bomb them again, this time with... Okay. How many refineries ended up being destroyed? I don't think any. Honestly, I haven't heard. YouTube is blocking chats and censoring people. Are you serious? Yeah, go figure. YouTube, something that's going on with YouTube. There's something going on with YouTube. Hey, what's up, Rich? How you doing? Gas is $4.19 to $4.25 a gallon there in PA. Well, that stinks. It was I just paid $3.96 today. You get to roast a troll tonight. Well, that's awesome.
Joining me now, U.S. Ambassador to NATO, Matthew Whitaker. Ambassador, Saudi Arabia's national news agency is reporting that Crown Prince bin Salman asked President Trump to stand down over fears that their oil facilities would once again be attacked. Iran continues to say one thing and then they do another. Your reaction?
Well, good morning, Cheryl. It's good to be with you. My reaction is, President Trump continues to hold all the cards. He would prefer a diplomatic solution, a negotiation that resolves these important issues, the Strait of Hormuz, together with the denuclearization of Iran. But, the Iranians continue to not move quickly towards a deal. We have the world's most powerful military. As he said, it was ready to make a World War II-sized attack, and we stand always by that ability to project power anywhere around the globe. But let's hope that this deal can be negotiated, that the Iranians are finally going to act rationally.
Just to disrupt my chats. Yeah, there's something weird. They blocked you saying hi to everyone. ScumTube. I don't know what is going on with YouTube. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. It's very spotty and it keeps kicking people out. Like we went from 215 people to 85. What the fuck, YouTube? What are you doing? I could show you, like what's happening. It's YouTube doing it. It's YouTube kicking people out. There's nothing I can do about it. I could show you. I can show you right here. You can see it. All right. You can see it kicking people out. All right. Just so everyone knows it's not me. See, watch right here. Oh, and then it dropped. Oh, 80 people left and it went up and then now it dropped down to, like boom. So it's kicking people out of the stream. I can't, it's YouTube doing it. It's not me. I'm streaming fine. So I apologize. There's nothing I can do about it.
Gets to decide the direction, but we come from a position of strength in the United States. President Trump obviously has his finger on the pulse of this situation. And right now we're choosing diplomacy, negotiation, and to get a deal done. I think we're, closer than we've ever been to a deal on this situation. But at the same time, we continue to be in a position of strength as it relates to Iran. So
if these negotiations this week don't go anywhere, fail, then you think the president goes back and starts to attack again? That's a possibility.
The president didn't put a timeline on this.
No, it's not anybody. It's YouTube. It is YouTube. It's YouTube. Something is wrong. Either YouTube is getting DDoS attacked or YouTube is having some kind of issues with their servers or something, because it keeps kicking people out. It keeps kicking people off the stream. People are leaving because you're. I don't have Wi-Fi. I have fiber, and my fiber is great. It's YouTube. I'm not on Wi-Fi. I'm direct fiber. So it's not me. Don't know what to tell you. Chinese feds in the chat. Yeah, something. They did the same thing to the next news networks. Yeah. Og says it's much, much better over on Rumble. Well, thank you. I moved to Rumble. This is Finch from YouTube. Well, thank you. So yeah, so it's not me. My stream, everything is going fine. I mean,
he's going to obviously assess every day if there's progress, if they're moving towards kind of the red lines that he's been very clear about, both the opening and the free movement of commerce through the Strait of Hormuz, and making sure that Iran never has a nuclear weapon. And those are the two keys to this negotiation. I think we are close to getting that deal done. But again, we have a lot of power that we can project in the region and in the Gulf, but we also want to work with our allies like Saudi Arabia and so many others to get a deal that works for everybody in the region.
Okay. I also want to ask you about the situation with Russia and Ukraine, because they traded new strikes. Russian officials say that Ukrainian drones killed 8 people overnight. They struck a massive retail warehouse. Ukraine says it hit 3 major Russian oil refineries over the weekend. So Russian attacks killed at least 9 people, injured more than 30 others. That was in Kyiv. President Trump is now saying he would not let Ukraine build Patriot missiles. Here's the president at Camp David on Friday.
You have to be very judicious, but you have to be very careful. Now, we have not agreed to that. We're talking about it, but it's a hard thing to give away that kind of technology. And you give that technology.
Yeah. So I want to say thank you to Ag for 25 on Cash App. That means now we are just 48 away from adding a first additional hour to the show. Let's hope this problem resolves itself. Thank you. Weird how you called out Elon and it stopped. Yeah. No, I'll show you. I have, I can show you what I have. I can show you what I have. All right. So my internet is fantastic. It's not me. Yeah, I know. YouTube is unwatchable. I know. So yeah, so it's not me, folks. Not me.
That is possible.
Ambassador, what changed?
Well, I don't think anything changed. I mean, you first remember air defense is a multi-layered, multi-dimension situation. He's talking obviously about the Patriot 3 missiles that are very controlled export-wise, and we do not allow anybody but U.S. manufacturer to make those in the United States. But there are co-production opportunities that we can do with the Ukrainians, that we can do with Europeans, to increase the industrial base and to support the defense of Ukraine and the defense of Europe. And so we're working on some of those deals, and nothing to announce this morning, but I think they're, it's consistent with the meetings we had in Ankara with President Zelensky, my follow-on meetings 2 weeks ago in Kyiv, where we talked to the Ukrainians about some of these co-production opportunities, and my meetings also with the companies that have these technologies and can prop up manufacturing. So
we'll see what happens with that. And Trump says this is the last chance, warns Iran, sign a peace deal or else.
I think we're going to maybe get something, but I want to give them every last chance before decapitation. Very tough to do what we have planned, still planned. We'll see what happens.
Hey, what's up,
But
Cree Dog? How you
it's
doing?
a very, very tough thing to do. I think I'm very proud of the fact that I'll give people a chance. This is a big move. To do an attack that big on a country, I'd rather not do it. Now, we've already, through lots of large attacks, but they were normal large. Hopefully they'll come to their senses, because what happened cannot have a nuclear weapon, but hopefully they'll come to their senses. So they called me and they said, please don't attack. We'll make a deal. That's the real truth. And everyone knows it. The talks are going along. We're going to hit them very hard yesterday, very, very hard, harder than any attack. I think I can say, General, from a point of knowledge, any attack since World War II. That's pretty big. I don't want to use the word begging, but some were, in particular, Iran did not want to be hit. And they said, we want to talk. We want to talk about the strait, but more importantly, from my standpoint, we want to talk about the denuclearization of Iran. So many countries called, the leaders of many, friendly with a lot of them, almost all of them, one way or the other, and they all wanted to give this a last chance. This is a last chance. This is not something that, if it doesn't happen, this is a last chance for them to sign a good document.
Okay, yeah, so it's their last chance. We did get another 5 on Cash App from Mr. Lurch Langer. Where's he at? There you go. That's right. Tap the like button. Thank you for the 5, Lurch. That means we now, folks, just $43 away from adding a first additional hour to the show. Hey, what's up, Narek? How you doing over on Rumble? How you doing? Yes, he's a big talker. Yes, he is. Yeah, Michelle, what is a guy that they arrested? Is it someone was trying to do something at the golf course or whatever? So yeah, Ukraine wants a license to make Patriot missiles like Germany was granted. Giving Germany a license was a terrible idea. Yeah, it's a terrible idea to give anybody a license to make them. It really is. Thank you, Mona Lisa Davina. Thank you. Did you see they arrested a guy in connection to the huge Spokane fire? Yes, I have that. It's yeah, they blamed it on climate change. I guess. What's up, Ag? Thank you. Yay. He was taking pictures and had a gun and mag in his pocket. Trump is having a fundraiser there in 2 days. Oh, wow. Well, thank you. Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for leaving it on for the view count. I appreciate it. So here it is right here. Gun arrested. All right, we'll look at that as soon as I get off of the story here. All right, so that's it. So yeah, so they're giving him one last chance, just one last chance. We'll have to see where that goes. We'll have to see where that goes. So, man arrested at Trump golf course ahead of president's visit had allegedly had a weapons cache. A weapons cache. What do they consider a weapons cache? We will have to find out. I just don't trust anything Iran says. They're all about getting what they want. Yes. He was heavily armed. Okay. YouTube thinks they can get away with screwing the right-wing people without tarnishing their image. They're not fooling anyone anymore. Yeah. Uh-oh. That's a very interesting story. I'm out. I hit the like button. Why the hell not? Well, thank you, DDR. Thank you so much. Trump is there today. Did Trump sell those 100 F-35s to UAE? I have no idea. I don't have it. I don't know. I have no idea. No idea what's happening with that. We'll do this over here. Come over here. Get this one. Over here. Do this one. Bring this one. And come over here with this one. Oh, man. Seriously. Oh, I'm really, you know what? There. So a California man was arrested Sunday at Trump National Golf Course in Ranchos Palos Verdes after monitoring security planning activities days before President Trump's visit. Janine John Taylor of Downey was arrested after a plainclothes federal agent spotted him walking the golf course grounds, taking photographs and videos while appearing to monitor security planning activities. That's crazy. Wow. That is crazy. So they're still trying to kill Trump, it seems. That's nuts. That is nuts. That is nuts. Deputies from the Lomita Sheriff's Station responded. Oh, Bella moved. I got to fix Bella. Hold on. There she is. Okay, Rumble. Everything wants to be a pain in the ass today. Yes, it seems like it really does. Really does. So, during a pat-down, deputies recovered a 16-round magazine loaded with hollow point ammunition. Authorities then searched his vehicle, which was parked in the golf course parking lot, recovered a loaded pistol with a round chambered. Well, I mean, okay. Along with another loaded magazine containing hollow point ammunition. Okay. He was arrested on suspicion of carrying concealed firearm, possession, and prohibited ammunition. Why would hollow point ammunition be prohibited? Is that California law? They're saying hollow point ammunition is what, illegal in California? What are they, like New York and weirdos? Wow. Well, investigators say they recovered a legally modified AR platform rifle, a 1911, a 45 caliber pistol, an upper receiver, body armor, magazines, bulk pistol and rifle ammo, 2 radio signal devices, and notebooks containing what they described as concerning statements. Whoa. So the investigation is being conducted jointly by the LA County Sheriff's and the FBI's Terrorism Task Force. Who listens to tyrants? What's frozen? It's frozen again? It's doing that again on YouTube? Well, nothing I can do. I'm sorry. YouTube is all fucked up today. Investigators presented the case to the LA District Attorney's Office for consideration. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's I don't know what it is. If it's a just they're making a big deal out of some normal, because I didn't really hear anything that obscene about what the guy had. Back to buffering? Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. Of course it is. Yeah. Of course it is. He hadn't gone through his background check to buy his ammo. Yes, that's a thing. Wow. He has screwed more for the modified AR in California than if he was going for the president. Probably. Yeah, SpewTube is snafu. Saying ain't so. Yeah, it's all messed up. California has gone commie and racist long time ago. Yeah, well, commie racist. Yes, I know. So, wow. Got this. Speaking of commie racist, you got a New York police bigwig accused of driving getaway car for her gangbanger son, immediately fired. Wow, man. That's insane, right? A high-ranking Westchester County police officer who allegedly acted with her husband as her gangbanging son's getaway driver at the scene of a Bronx shooting was fired Tuesday. This is insanity. New York wants to emulate London as much as possible. It seems that way. It seems like it's crazy, man. It's really crazy what's happening. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Jennifer Lackard was canned from her post as deputy police commissioner with the Mount Vernon Police Department just hours after she was busted for a bizarre family affair. The family allegedly planned out over a string of text messages. Her immediate termination was directly tied to criminal charges in aiding her 20-year-old son and slutty gang member in a bizarre family affair that landed her son's girlfriend in cuffs also. Effective immediately, the city of Mount Vernon has terminated Jennifer Lackard's employment. The allegations are unrelated to her duties with the Mount Vernon Police Department. Police say Lackard, a boss with the department's wellness unit. So they have a wellness unit. That right there could tell you there's a problem. And her husband drove their gun-toting son, Chase Lackard, to concourse so that he could fire at rival gang members. So this is the son, I guess. And this is the mother who's a cop. Wow. I mean, what's the explanation for this? Where do you come up with this, that a cop takes their son to go do a drive-by shooting? This is crazy. We don't call Mount Vernon for nothing. Wow. Yeah, very classy. So Chase texted his mother, directing her to be in front of the Hall of Justice as soon as he left, with the former police commissioner allegedly giving advice on carrying out the crime. You can't just sit directly outside. It's got to be timed right, she texted her son. Wow. Instructed her son. This is crazy. James was in the driver's seat when Chase rolled down a window and discharged the semi-automatic firearm multiple times into a public street towards unnamed individuals. The family then peeled off, stepping outside their home to change Lackard's clothing before going back inside. This is nuts, man. Nobody was injured. All 3 Lackards were charged with a slew of charges. Charged with the slew of charges would be charged with a slew of crimes. This AI writing this crap, they need to fix this because they were charged with a slew of charges. No, they were charged with a slew of crimes. Or you would say they were hit with a slew of charges. You don't say they were charged. I had to rewind to see you say slutty gang. I don't know what that's all about. I really don't. Yeah, prison would be nice. Yeah, prison would be great. Prison. Yeah. Definitely. The usual suspects is right. Yeah. I'm the police. That's right. She's part of the wellness unit. Look at that. New York City Police Department, Police Academy. Yeah. Boy, they lowered the standards quite a bit. Lacquer's corruption is a sign of the total dysfunction of the police department, argued Damon Jones, 33-year veteran of Westchester County Department of Corrections. Prison raised, boy, you ain't kidding. You're not liking this season of The Wire. No, it's pretty stupid. So this is an embarrassment. I'm embarrassed as a black law enforcement officer to see dysfunction in a city that has a black mayor, a majority of black city council, a majority black police department, that we have to see continuing dysfunction and just foolery in an organization that should be professional. Like, yeah, well, what do you expect to happen? Wellness units are good. You send a single officer with them to do welfare checks and such. The problem is you can't just send them, or that's all there will be. It's a great looking boy. It says 1,000 jewels goat trophy. Well, thank you. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that's $10. So that means we're now just $33 away from adding a first additional hour. Thank you so much. You moved again, Bella? Okay. There she is. Just chillinating. Yo, dog, I heard you like charges, so I put charges in your charges. Yeah, positive or negative? Whaleness department. That's what it sounds like to me, the whaleness department. Could be whale, wellness. Could be anything. Could be. So, Lackard should have never been appointed to her leadership post. Her social work background was insufficient to kickstart the wellness unit of a troubled police department. So unfortunately, we see this with Democrats. They put people in positions that don't belong there. It's crazy. The first season of The Wire is a tough act to follow. Yeah, season 2 is pretty good, though. First 2 seasons. Season 3 is, I don't know. I didn't like the last season was all right, too. I especially like, when Cheese got his, what are you using for internet to get full speed? What level fiber? Do you have Starlink and fiber bonded together? I just have, I have just two, I have a 2 gigabit fiber system. It's hardwired. And then I also have Starlink as backup if the fiber goes down. So, and I got another 10 from Mona Lisa. Thank you. Thank you so much. That means now we're just 23 away from adding a first additional hour to the show. So thank you. So that's awesome. I want to thank everybody. YouTube is still acting ridiculous. Omar coming. Yeah, Omar coming. Yeah. I was not a fan of Marlo Stansfield either. I thought it was a one-sided terrible character. They could have done better. So at the time, she told News 12 the precinct would respond to constituents suffering from mental health issues without implementing traditional police tactics. So the ammo thing is California is most likely this individual under the age of 21 or particularly possessing handgun ammunition. He was under 21. Oh, I thought he said he was 24 or something, that guy. For those who are wondering on Rob's live stream, the Unk gift is Unk in the internet for Uncle used to jokingly call someone old, out of touch, or giving old man energy. Oh, man. Okay. Wow. I like that each season of Wire covered different problems in the system. One season was cops, one season was schools, one was politicians. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Oh no, none of your business here says, please tell us again. Well, I'm trying. We have to see what happens. YouTube keeps acting ridiculous, so it's gonna be odd to see if if it's gonna keep working or if it's gonna be a problem. So a lot of people we encounter in a mental health crisis. The mom raked in $138,000 with the police department last year. Her son started his gangbanging while she was on the job, including when he pointed a gun at cops during a dispute in 2024. So Chase Lackard, a reputed member of Slutty Gang, was shot twice in the leg by police, was later charged with criminal use of a firearm and menacing a police officer. A year earlier, the troubled son, then 17, was also shot in the chest on a BX5 bus in Soundview after fighting with 3 other youths. Chase Lackard allegedly flashed gang signs at the boys when asked their gang affiliation before trying to drag one of them off the bus. It's like, how is this happening? How is this happening? We got this story. Shared mission. Pope Leo meets with radical pro-abortion rocker Patti Smith. Go figure. Yeah. So the Pope met with a radical rocker in a meeting at a Vatican official described as a shared mission. So the Pope is all about a shared mission to kill more babies. Isn't that crazy? You thought you heard the guy was 38? That's what I thought. I didn't think the guy was under 21. I really didn't. Smith, who originally hails from Chicago like the Pope, is a radical pro-abortion, pro-LGBTQ punk star. Among the lyrics she became famous for was the song Gloria from her debut album Horse, which says, Jesus died for somebody's sins, but not mine. Oh, so I guess the Pope feels the same way. Yeah, so he pointed a gun at the cops and she was still allowed to remain in her position. It's crazy, crazy times, ain't it? It's a cold world, blood, as they say. So she said her heart is broken and criticized the court for being manipulated into shifting to the right. Wow. Now I heard about the video Elon made or released about the leftist activist that time travels to the mustache man to delete him. No, I haven't seen it. So here she is meeting with the Pope. There's no sound on this. All right, there's no sound on this, so all right. Pope Leo opened to entertaining pro-abortion figures, is less willing to meet with conservative Catholics and refused meetings with the leadership of the Society of St. Pius, particularly its superior general. Wow. So the Pope won't meet with conservative people, but he'll meet with pro-abortion people. You know. Wow. So slain LSU student Madison Brooks rapist wants supporters banned from wearing pink at the trial. That's crazy. It's nuts. It's nuts. Yeah, the Pope is woke. He's crazy. This Pope is horrible.
Let's go. Hey, supervillains.
Puncher? You're joking.
So it's a commercial, and then watch, it's going to tell me it doesn't work. So one of the 3 men accused of raping a young woman before she was killed wants to prevent her friends and family from wearing pink at the upcoming trial. It's crazy. So Madison Brooks, a student at Louisiana State University, was hit by a car and killed after a group of men raped her, then dumped her out of a vehicle. Oh my God. 3 years later, one of the rapists will appear before a judge. Why are these people even going to get to go to court? They allege these people sexually assaulted Brooks inside the vehicle after a night of drinking. All 3 men face rape charges in the incident. According to the local outlet, Carter's defense team filed a motion. To prohibit pink attire and clothing. So the defense referenced a Supreme Court case, Shepard v. Maxwell and Estes v. Texas, concerning media-driven carnival atmospheres. So, wow. The prosecution opposed the motion, characterizing pink clothing as victim advocacy rather than jury intimidation. It's crazy.
What's Echo X Series? X Series is Echo's line of best-in-class tools for best-in-class.
One of the suspects accused of raping LSU student Madison Brooks wants the court to ban wearing pink at trial. 21-year-old Desmond Carter believes if Brooks's family and friends wear pink, it could intimidate the jury. He's one of 4 men accused of raping Brooks after a night of drinking in Tigerland before she was hit by a car and killed along Burbank. The trial begins August 17th.
Wow. That's insane. That's insane. So, I mean, how can they even come up with something like this to say that you can't wear pink? What if they're just supporting like breast cancer awareness and stuff like that? Where's Code Pink to show up and tell them you can't do this? You know, that's what should happen, right? Code Pink. So, and then out of New York, you got New York can't ban federal agents from wearing face coverings. A judge rules. Send them to the firing squad. That's what I'm talking about. Your stone pizza or wings? Well, I mean, it depends. I mean, I always go with wings, but you know, that's what I would go with, wings. It's crazy. That's what I go with, wings. All right. So, ICE agents in New York can't be banned from wearing masks. Why does it keep doing this? I have the fucking pop-up blockers. The pop-up blockers is not working. Obama-appointed judge said they granted a temporary injunction on the law on constitutional grounds, a blow for Kathy Hochul. Because the Face Covering Identification Act takes direct aim at regulating federal agents, they run afoul of intergovernmental doctrinal immunity. That's what happens when you try to do that. So law banning federal agents from wearing protective masks are unconstitutional. Department of Justice focus on law and order, and we won't tolerate violence directed towards law enforcement. Okay. So defendant's perspective is grounded in unavoidable observations of recent troubling events which loom darkly over the public perception. Oh, okay. Well, wings, that's what I say. I always like wings. Eruption, volcano sends Guatemala high alert. Wow. Crazy.
Other news tonight about ICE, this time a major ruling on New York State's law that bans ICE agents from wearing masks. A federal judge put the measure on hold, saying federal authorities make the rules for ICE. The ruling also halted a provision for ICE agents to wear ID badges. Governor Hochul and Attorney General Letitia James issued a joint statement saying they are reviewing their options. The judge also upheld a law that states state and local police cannot join federal immigration enforcement agreements.
Oh, well, that's going to have to keep going up because that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Megan loves to treat herself.
No, get out of here, Megan. So that's good news. A federal judge issued a preliminary injunction against New York for enforcing the mask ban case, which that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Then we got this story. Senate advances Todd Blanche's nomination for Attorney General. That's a good thing. This seat may get lost. Bernie Moreno responds, yeah, what the hell is going on with this with Moreno? And that's his son-in-law or ex-son-in-law. It seems like it's crazy. It's crazy what's happening. It really is. Blanche advances out of committee, but there are more Senate Republicans who support is unclear. Oh, yeah, because they're not really. These are all scum. They're all traitorous scum. purported Republicans. Purported Republicans.
But President Trump's pick to run the Justice Department clearing a critical hurdle. The Senate Judiciary Committee has just advanced the nomination of acting AG Todd Blanche after he won over 2 key GOP holdouts. News Nation's Hannah Brandt is live on Capitol Hill. So, Hannah, today's vote going pretty much as expected.
Nicole, that's right. It absolutely did, right along party lines, and it took some work to get here. Of course, there was a breakthrough deal that made it all happen, but this absolutely gives Blanche some momentum headed into that full Senate vote. Today in the committee, what we saw was the results of that meeting that happened with Senators Tom Tillis and John Cornyn behind the scenes with Blanche, because they were 2 key Republican holdouts on this committee. They did not want to commit to supporting Blanche's nomination until they got official written confirmation that that $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund was dead. Blanche did end up releasing that written confirmation saying the fund had been rescinded over the weekend. And then just yesterday, Cornyn and Tillis announced that because of that, they would be supporting the nomination going forward. Now, some Democratic senators argue that there's nothing binding about the order Blanche issued, and they believe there are still ways for this fund to move forward. Listen to what we heard from Senator Cory Booker on the issue today.
This is ridiculous. We got nothing, no guarantees whatsoever that this slush fund still can't go forward. We got nothing that the President of the United States can't cheat on his taxes and have no accountability. Dear God, folks, it's not like we're talking about a president who is a saint.
It's something is wrong with YouTube. You know, yeah, we don't usually need hall monitors, no, but there's something wrong with YouTube. I don't know what it is. They've been having a problem. There's clearly something going on. Basically, I'm surprised the memberships are showing up, but yeah, none of the mods are showing up. Nothing is showing up. Diz D donated something on Rumble. Let me see what it is over here. Let me go see. It says, oh, look at this. So Diz D82 gave 5 gifted memberships on Rumble. Thank you. So that means, folks, that we are now...
Tactical assessment. Red Chinese victory. Impossible. America will never fall to communist invasion. Communism is the very definition of failure.
So that means, folks, we are now $98 away from adding a second additional hour to the show. Thank you so much with those 5 gifted subs. That means that's $25. We were 23 away, so that means we're now 98 away from a second additional hour. Thank you so much, Diz D, for bringing Ag, Creed, Sanglant, Spuds, and Narek 0 into the Jim Somniacs on the Rumble side. Thank you so much. Couple out Manchin, yeah. So thank you for bringing Spuds, Creed, Sanglant, Ag. Yes. You only have 1 gig, Jim. 1 gig up, 1 gig down. Well, no, that's just because that's the connection that I have. That's not my. That's the connection to my computer is 1 gig. I don't have I have a 1 gig switch. I don't have a. So Starlink maybe 400. No, I have Starlink also, but I have a switch. So. Well. Oh yeah, yes, thank you. I mod for quite a few different debaters and their live streams. I can message and nobody sees my message for long stretches of time. Wow. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I really don't. Yes, thank you for the subs, man. Thank you for the subs.
And so I asked Senator John Cornyn after the vote why he disagreed with his Democratic colleagues and believed that this order Blanche issued was enough to earn his support. Take a listen to how he responded.
Senator, your Democratic colleagues say that this order from Blanche rescinding the fund isn't binding. Why do you disagree?
Well, the weaponization fund is dead. We pointed out that the Department of Justice has represented that to numerous courts. And as to the idea that it could be revived in the future, I think it's highly unlikely that that could happen without the cooperation of the Department of Justice. And I think Mr. Blanche gave us the assurances that it was dead and would not be revived.
So Blanche's confirmation is not a done deal yet, but this was a significant step forward in the process towards that path, Nicole.
All right, so Hannah, what is next in the process?
Well, he'll have to pass a full Senate vote to officially be confirmed. We aren't expecting that to happen until potentially Friday, unless Republicans and Democrats are able to strike a deal to get it done sooner before they leave for the August recess. But what's really interesting is there are still some Republicans who have not committed to supporting Blanche in that full Senate vote. And Republicans will need almost all of their votes. They can only afford to lose 2 Republicans on this final vote to still get Blanche across the finish line. And right after the vote, we actually spoke.
My computer can do 5 or 2 point has a 5 can do 2.5 or 5. It's just my switch, as I have a multi-port switch that is just a 1 gig switch. So it's got like 20 ports on it that are each 1 gig. So that's why.
With an Epstein survivor who was sitting in that room. And many of them have really been unsatisfied with the way that Blanche handled that case while number 2 at the Justice Department. And they tell us they're actually behind the scenes lobbying support. They want to meet with these 3 senators you're seeing there on your screen, Senators Collins, Murkowski, and Cassidy, about not moving forward with Blanche. They still believe, in their words, that there's some hope that they could lobby their votes against Blanche. And those are 3 of the key senators who have not committed yet. So like I said, this really isn't a done deal for Blanche. We're keeping a close eye on the map because it is pretty tricky for Republicans still, Nicole.
Yeah, it's pretty tricky for Republicans. Yeah. So, all right. We got this. Senator Bernie Moreno out of Ohio responds after Max Miller's attorney admits to accidentally releasing a nude photo of a 2-year-old daughter amid domestic abuse allegations. What the fuck are these people doing, man? This shit should all be private. Republican senator spoke to reporters after his ex-son-in-law accidentally released a nude photo of the granddaughter over the weekend amid allegations Miller assaulted his ex-wife. Oh, this is crazy. Yeah, I sent my computer into my friend's to fix its shop, and he renamed my computer to my pooter. Oh, my God. Miller's accused of assaulting his ex-wife, Emily Moreno, the daughter of Senator Bernie Moreno, and their 2-year-old daughter. Miller allegedly held a gun to Emily Moreno's head and broke their daughter's collarbone. What the fuck is this stuff? This better not be some weird-ass, divorce bullshit, people making up stories and lying. This chat needs a pain-in-the-ass troll. This chat's pretty lame. Step up your game. Oh, no, we don't need any trolls. We're good. Miller has denied the allegations and vowed to remain in the re-election race. And, so Moreno says, he is a danger to my daughter, and I hold my breath every minute he has custody of my granddaughter. If there are any basic standards of character required to hold elective office, Max Miller fails them. This is just insane. Wow. He should not serve in the House of Representatives. I believe Max Miller needs to seek professional help. Mudslinging on acid. That's what I'm saying. This is insane. It's totally insane. Adding to the controversy, Miller's attorney on Tuesday took the blame for accidentally releasing a photo of Emily Moreno and Miller's nude 2-year-old daughter in a trove of documents. What the fuck? The folder of documents, which says exonerates Miller from false accusations he's accused of, was posted on social media by Miller in an attempt to defend himself. A lawyer for Emily Moreno said that the photos of the documents could be considered child sex abuse material. No. Just fucking people, man. Yesterday, you enabled your client to share and disseminate to the public a Dropbox folder of materials that was in conjunction with a video rant about our client. The first time Miller shared the folder contained private images of Miller and Miss Moreno's daughter and left her name unredacted. At least one of those images could be considered CSAM. No. Jesus Christ, man. If somebody takes a picture of their kid in the bathtub, it's not child sex abuse material. I mean, shit's been going on forever. Something like the link in comments. If you have other things that are 1 gig, you can daisy chain your old Switch after the 2.5 gig. I haven't gotten around to adding over 1 gigabit. Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know. As long as it works, that's all I care about. Why is everyone so deranged? I don't know. Maybe it's the solar flares and the weakening magnetic field. Ming said on Tuesday he's responsible for photo, adding, I was the only person responsible for assembling, creating, and reviewing, deleting, redacting, or making changes. And it was a completely unintentional mistake. He said that a 2-year-old girl had her shirt off, and the claim of genitals in the photo is deliberately false, sensationalized, and disgusting. Oh, so it was just a girl. It was just a kid probably in a diaper, a 2-year-old kid in a diaper. Yeah, no, that's, that's, come on, people. Congress is looking like Jerry Stringer. It is. You're confused who's doing what? There's a divorce going on between a senator's daughter and a congressman, and they're mudslinging all types of shit at each other. Like, they should all just get... Yeah, so Mink decried Moreno for using the incident as a means to try to gain leverage in court and distract from the underlying evidence that exonerates Miller from the false allegations he's accused of. Moreno spoke to reporters on Capitol Hill following the admission, saying that Mink could not apologize for the mistake and reiterated his call for Miller to resign from Congress. It's just a prophecy being fulfilled. Our leaders are losing their minds. So my daughter lives in constant fear of this man, not like something that's existential, but deeply in her heart. She fears what this guy is capable of. You can't even fathom what that makes me feel like when a dad's number one job is to protect her kids. On Sunday, he went out and did what he did, including releasing photos of my granddaughter completely naked that now have hundreds of thousands of psychotic human... What is fucking wrong with these people? My personal opinion is that this is a felony and that every single human being that touched that photo should go to jail. Clearly, this guy shouldn't be a senator anymore then. He's clearly a fucking mental idiot, a mental midget.
Here's a free 250th anniversary mystery gift for anyone with half a brain to take advantage of a crazy deal.
If you suffer from forgetfulness or someone you love suffers from
I forget what your name is.
Asking for a miracle. The answer is...
Senator Moreno, did the lawyer for Max Miller apologize to you?
No, he did not.
Do you believe that Max Miller should resign from Congress right now?
Did you read my statement?
You said he's unfit to serve
Nope.
Congress.
I did not. I said absolutely and affirmatively that he shouldn't serve in Congress. That needs serious help. That's exactly what my statement says. My statement speaks for itself.
You said that you're in response to your statement that it was to protect from your own circus. To that you say what?
It's the ramblings of a madman.
What's up, Brenda?
They don't even know what
Thanks
that
for being
means.
here.
What did you think of Miller telling Trump he could still win the election?
Look, I don't care about the politics of this. I hope that you guys understand, and maybe I hope you never have to understand what my daughter's been through, what my daughter's going through, what my wife is going through, what my my two boys and my other daughter are going through. This is truly the 7th level of hell. This has been a horrific experience for my entire family. My daughter specifically did not want this to be out in the public. That's why she asked me to say, lower the temperature. You got to remember, when you don't have kids and you get divorced, you can just say farewell. You never have to see each other again. But when you have a child, you have to co-parent with that individual for the rest of your life. That means scheduling pickups, scheduling drop-offs. This is not something that you can just say, I'll never have to deal with this guy again. My daughter lives in constant fear of this man. Not like something that's existential, but deeply in her heart, she fears what this guy is capable of. You can't fathom what that makes me feel like when the dad's number one job is to protect your kids. And to have this whole thing out in the public like this is not what I wanted to do. It's not what my daughter wanted to do. But on Sunday, when he went out and did what he did, including releasing photos of my granddaughter completely naked, that now you have hundreds of thousands of psychotic human beings that have that, and to say oops is grotesque. My personal opinion is that this is a felony, and that every single human being that touched that photo and transmitted it electronically should go to jail, because it is illegal to do that. This has been brutal beyond comprehension. And if there's any minimum standard for being an elected official, as I said, he fails to meet that minimum basic standard. I don't care about the politics at all. Don't think about it. Doesn't enter my consciousness. Okay?
But respectfully, why didn't you say something earlier? This has been going on for such a long time.
I explained, as I just said, and as maybe you don't understand, when your daughter tells you you have to de-escalate this thing because you want to keep it private, this has been going on for 2 years. Why did you just cover it today instead of covering it a year ago? This has been going on. This was about de-escalation. Every single week, she has to go arrange for a pickup and drop off of this little child.
Yeah, that's called being a parent in custody. This, I'm telling you right, I don't know if the guy did. First of all, let me just say this right out in the open. If Max Miller, the Republican congressman, I think he's a Republican, did any of the stuff he's accused of, he should go to prison. This should be, but this sounds like what happens with divorces. People make up a bunch of shit because they want to get fucking custody. They want more child support. They don't want to have to co-parent. So it sounds like, oh, every week she has to go and drop the kid off. Well, yeah, because it's his kid too, and he has a right to see his kid, unless he's some kind of evil person. And if he's some kind of evil person, where's the criminal charges? You know, that's the thing. This is a private tragedy, clearly, but like something there. This is what happens in divorces. A lot of times people make up lies in divorces because they don't really have to prove shit. They make up stories and lies to try to get more money, to try to get more custody, to take custody away from, they don't want to, she doesn't want to have to go and arrange to drop off and pick up. If he was a danger, here's the facts. If he was really a danger, she wouldn't have to drop him off. Clearly, there's no evidence that there was danger. Otherwise, he wouldn't have visitation. There would be an order of protection. There would be, it's some weird shit, man. So, and then, but speaking of shit that's not weird, all right? If you like some good quality meat, some biltong, 100% American made, raised in Texas, produced in Texas, processed in Texas by a great family business, head on over to www.biltongusa.com and use promo code JIM to save 10%. The 8-ounce bags make excellent gifts. If you like a little bit of spice, try the Peri Peri. If you like a lot of spice, get the Carolina Reaper or the Ghost Pepper. Also, try the Drawers or the Cabanassi sausages. They also have a large assortment of other cakes, snacks, candies, and cookies that you can get from all around the world. But go ahead on over there and get some protein. Angus, Wagyu, no preservatives, no additives, 100% natural, air-dried beef, the old-fashioned way. Brought to you by Anton and his lovely wife and family at the www.biltongusa.com. And remember, tell them Jim sent you to save 10%. No, it wasn't that I don't think it was that they posted a half-naked baby. I think what happened was there was whatever stuff filed with the court, and there was an accusal of some kind of injury on the child, from what I can understand, like what I understand of what's happening here. They said, oh, he did something, he hurt the child. And so they took a picture of the child's shoulder and submitted it. And so somehow it got made public. But it's a 2-year-old. I mean, if you see a 2-year-old with no if anybody has kids or grandkids, do you know how often they run around without a shirt on? Yeah. Over 2 years, there's something going on. We all know that we don't know the details, but it's scary drama during the drop-offs. We don't know what's been going on. The court doesn't always protect the victims. No, I know they don't always protect the victims. I'm just saying, though, this has been, they got a 2-year-old child, and this has been going on for 2 years. This is, I don't know. And thank you, Dark Dawn Sister, or Dawn Dark Star, I'm sorry, received a gifted memory gift from King of Biltong. So thank you, Anton, King of Biltong, for the gifted membership. That means right now we are just $93 away from adding a second additional hour to the show. These stories are always rough because you never know. You know what I mean? He said completely naked. Yeah, he said completely naked, and the lawyer and the other guy says it was just a topless photo of a 2-year-old. So I don't know. There would be only supervised visits that could prove wrongdoing. However, we don't know the facts about the case one way or another. No, I know. That's what I'm saying. But this whole thing really should have been private anyway to begin with. It's just private things. If not, then, this seems like, I don't know. I've had biltong before. It's delicious and good stuff. Yes, I eat it all the time. It's great. Fog of war. Hey, it could be. Could be.
Just this Sunday, I had to go. Imagine this. I had to go pick her up because I don't want my daughter interacting with this man.
Oh,
so
okay.
I meet him at the Bay Village Police Station because that's the place that we have to go to meet because I don't know what this guy's capable of. She comes over, gets in our car. We drive away. And if anybody who's a parent, she has a little blue bunny that she sleeps with. Max would not hand over the little blue bunny. Literally held it hostage for 48 hours. Oh. This girl was crying at night.
He held a bunny hostage. Wow.
Because she can't sleep without her little blue bunny. And his answer is, I'm just not going to give it to you. So finally yesterday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, yesterday, he lets the little blue bunny go. This is the level of total and complete depravity. Do I want all this in public? No. Do you have any idea that what it's like to go through physical abuse and then mental abuse and then to relive it over and over and over again? That's what my daughter has tried to avoid. She hasn't made a single solitary public statement. Max feels like he needs to go on a publicity tour, which I just don't understand. Remember, at the end of the day, that little 2-year-old is going to be an adult. And unlike when I was a kid, when maybe there's 2 or 3 pictures of me that my parents had, she's going to have high definition videos. She's going to have news stories. She's going to have everything out there. She's going to read that as an adult going, what the heck happened? And why is my life the subject of so much publicity? It is grotesque where we are today. And that's, I don't care about the politics. Do not ask me a single question about the politics. I do not care at all. I've been I don't want to, I'm not running away from you guys. I have to go to another meeting. I've told you guys more than I need to say. If you could just please protect the privacy of me and my family. I've answered your questions. That's all the questions I'm going to answer. Okay. Thanks, guys.
Well, if he shouldn't have said anything. None of the stuff, like, and whoever is making the stuff public is being an asshole because the stuff should be private. But if, like I said, if there is any at all proof of any of these accusations, then the guy should be in jail, not in Congress and not going for a divorce. But I don't know what the truth is of anything. Damn, holding a blue bunny hostage must be a felony. Yeah. Well, I mean, Blue Bunny, they do make some good ice cream. Blue Bunny ice cream is good. It seems the father plays both sides. He contributes to both parties. A mercenary. Oh. Well, I don't know. I don't know anything about it. Bunnies sound tasty. Whatever. Sylvia says this happens both ways all the time. Goes both ways, men and women, as I see it. Yeah. But you never know. Honestly, you don't know. Just Rhonda says, I had to deal with a very toxic person on behalf of my adult child who's being abused by their spouse. Courts took the spouse's side every time. It's the court system sucks. It does. It really does, especially when there's kids involved and stuff like that. But unless the father is abusive, the father has a right to spend time with their kids, see their kid, visitation, all that stuff. I mean, basically, it sounds like he's just seeing him like every other weekend or something like that is what it sounds like. So the father's not like, getting him all the time, right? Is that what you said? Every other weekend kind of thing? Moreno's eloquent. He got out in front of it. Okay. I don't know. There was a. Now we got this story here. Trump DOJ to Maryland schools and secret gender transition students are face to feds in court. The Trump administration has given Maryland school district just 7 days to end a policy to allow students to transition at school without their parents' knowledge. Why? Why any of this stuff, man? Why are you doing this stuff? I don't get it. Why are you doing this? Leave the kids alone. I don't know anything about Moreno, but anyone with enough balls to ask Fauci, who the fuck do you think you are, has my respect. Yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know enough about Moreno either. I'm not from Ohio. He's an Ohio guy. I don't know. One side says holding the bunny hostage. The other side could be busy working. He's running for office, so it could be a time issue. He said, she said. That's what I'm saying. We don't know. Like maybe the bunny rabbit got left at the house. Maybe when they left the house. I mean, if you ever... Like I've got little grandkids, all right, and they lose stuff all the time. They do. They forget things. They binkies, and it's a constant thing. Like, where's my binkies? You got to have a stash of them. But if this is this bunny, if this is this little Betty bunny, okay, that you have to have for the kid to sleep, you should have more than one. You should have more than one. You should have a stash of them. So Harvey Dillon sends a letter to the Anne Arundel County Public Schools demanding that the district rescind its gender identity confidentiality policy, arguing that it violates the Family Education Rights and Privacy Act by denying parents access to their children's education records. Comply with the law or face us in court. The warning marks the latest move by the Trump administration to crack down on school districts that keep information about students from their parents. Like, yeah, why are they, why are public officials keeping secrets from parents? That's never a good thing. So, in her letter, Dillon accused the district of adopting a blanket policy withholding information related to students' gender identity. By categorically withholding information about a student's gender identity from parents, except where legally required, the Anne Arundel County Public Schools appears to have adopted a blanket district-wide practice of non-disclosure, untethered to the FERPA's enumerated exceptions. She further alleged that parents were denied access to their children's complete education records. That information was disclosed without parents' consent, and that parents were denied hearings to correct the records. Once you say, oh man, I've seen way too much, I guess, experienced too much of it, it's all good. Not my monkeys, not my circus. I have my own shit to deal with. Oh, I know, man. I know. I'm just saying. I don't know. I mean, I don't want, it's crazy. Hey, what's up, America First? How you doing? Great to see you. The problem with all this is that the teachers and other adults are encouraging kids to be something they're not. Yes. Yeah. My friend's little sister had sex ed in late elementary school. They're in Anne Arundel. Wow. So, Department of Justice recently launched a joint enforcement effort targeting Anne Arundel County Public Schools and the Anne Arundel Public Schools in Michigan over similar policies. Ann Arbor, I'm sorry. According to the Department of Education, they received complaints from Maryland parents that the district was secretly helping their daughter pretend to be male at school. Wow. Something is going on every time I type something. Forget it. I'm not typing. I'm going to talk into this thing now. Okay. So, under their current policy, students may request different names and pronouns at school without parental approval. They're developing a support plan. Yeah, they're trying to trans your kids, man. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to brainwash them and trans them. School districts that hide information from parents are violating federal law. Yeah, so they're violating federal law. There you go. At this story, eruption of the volcano of Fuego sends Guatemala on high alert. Hundreds of tourists and villagers evacuated. Well, look at that. That's what you call a volcano. Fuego is lit, so an orange alert has been issued. The Fuego fire volcano in Guatemala, apart from having one of the least poetic volcanic names in the whole Pacific Ring of Fire, is historically a deadly one. 3 eruptions triggered an evacuation of at least 2 villages. Wow, look at it go. That's cool. Yeah, no, I saw that. I saw that with Moreno. Looks hot. Yeah, that's why I call it fuego for fire, right? And fuego on fire. So here's more. Guatemala declares an orange alert. That's. I mean, I know it's dangerous, but it's beautiful, isn't it? I don't know. Fuego seems very descriptive. It does, right? Yeah, it's time to get as far away as possible. Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, it's beautiful as long as you're not breathing in the sulfur and all the other stuff that'll kill you. Wow. That's wild. So, Fuego volcano is erupting in Guatemala. Wow. Now, you hear them birds. The birds are telling you. Those birds are telling you to get away. Those birds are like, let us out of here. We got to get away. We got to get away. Yes. Yeah. Why are they stupid? It's a volcano eruption. It's hell. Yes. It's a volcanic eruption in Guatemala. Off we go. That's right. The people of Pompeii didn't do so well. No, yeah. That's why the poor birdies will die instantly from the bad air. Yeah. Poor birds. Yeah. The parrots there only speak, didn't know Jim speaks bird, but seems legit. Yes. Parrots only speak Spanish. Yes. When all's quiet with birds, run. Yeah. Yeah. Birds all want to go. They want to get out of there. So Fuego is located 10 miles of the tourist-friendly Antigua, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. There's good reason for alarm since in 2018, hundreds of people were killed and a whole village was destroyed. Wow. The country's disaster management agency said 659 people were evacuated from 8 villages. Wow, look at this thing. Wow, that's crazy. Wow. Wow. That's a big explosion coming out of there. That looks hot. Wow. Yeah, the Canary Islands have no canaries and the Virgin Islands have no virgins. Yes, we should toss all the child predators in there. Well, that we could, like Joe in the volcano. We can toss them in there. Animals are smarter than humans, and that when we sense danger, we get out of here. Humans want the viral video. Yes. Yes. I live in sight of 2 live volcanoes. I hope neither one erupts in my lifetime. Mount St. Helens was bad enough, and it was hundreds of miles away. It is very incredible. The Earth is alive. Yeah. Helicopters would be nice. Take a helicopter right over and just like drop, Just saying. It's possible. It's possible. Yeah, people pay for fireworks like this. Yeah, this is like a fountain, a really nice fountain, they call it. Really nice fountain. Pinochet is. Yeah, climate change causes. You forgot to order your pizza. Well, I told you to order wings. That's why. St. Helens was a banana. Was it 3 banana? That's crazy. The earth is shaking like God ordered a martini. I love birds too. So, major eruption. Oh, just more. Jesus. Wow. This is what's happening. It's only 10 or 20,000 degrees. Yeah, it's not much. Wow. Thank you, Rob, for 99 cents. With that 99 cents, that means we're now just $92 away from a second additional hour. Thank you so much. Oh. No, you got another $2. That means we're now just $90 away. Thank you. I'm adding a second additional hour. Now I want to stick a marshmallow. Yeah, you want to make, we could make, imagine the great s'mores we could make with that. I remember Mount St. Helens well. I was young in Southern California, but I remember the event and had family living there. I was terrified. Yeah. Tell you what to do. What do you mean? Thank you for being here. Don't forget the chocolate bars. Yes, we need chocolate bars and some graham crackers. That's Guatemala. Yeah, it's Guatemala. Only appointed for man who walks under the sun to die once. You're making Jim famous? Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Lava does fast sheesh. Yes, it does. So, wow, there's more. Indonesian volcano explodes in smoke, lava, and lightning, causing second eruption on Mount Raung within a week, causing thousands to evacuate. So there's a lot of volcanoes erupting right now. All right. Then we got this story. It says the University of Maryland is greatly troubled after professor arrested by ICE at Dallas airport for overstaying visa. DHS says he's an illegal alien from Ethiopia. The guy looks like an illegal alien from Ethiopia. He lost 2 cousins at Mount St. Helens. They were camping there. A lot of people. There was, if I'm not mistaken, there was somebody who like lived pretty close, and that like just said they weren't going to leave, and they basically got hurt, like died, like it got them. Scrappy's here, says my late fee. Thank you. Thank you for the 10. That means, folks, we are now just 80 away from adding a second additional hour to the show. Thank you so much. Yes, condolences completely. So a University of Maryland professor was arrested last month at DFW airport. Despite being here illegally, he received the title of Teacher of the Year. Burhanu Kibret, an Ethiopian professor at UMD School of Pharmacology, or School of Pharmacy, but wouldn't it be School of Pharmacology? Like, doesn't that make you wonder if the college is calling it the School of Pharmacy? It's pharmacology, isn't it? Isn't that what it's called? You got a degree in pharmacology, a pharmacy. They don't say you don't get a degree in pharmacy. Or is it like, are they using like Ebonics at the school? So according to the university, he was returning from a meeting of the American Association of Colleges of Pharmacy, where he received the Teacher of the Year award. I'm questioning if this is a real school. Pharmacy or pharmacology? It's DEI vernacular. It sure sounds like it. It sounds like to me like there's a real issue there. Like a real issue. So Department of Homeland Security described him as an illegal alien from Ethiopia. He entered the country on June 21st, 2021 on a visa set to expire May 31st, 2024. Against our nation's law, he overstayed the visas and failed to depart. He will remain in ICE custody pending immigration proceedings. Good. Good. So we encourage all legal aliens to take control of their departure with the CBP Home app. They said Dr. Kibret is a highly valued member of the University of Maryland. Don't we have Americans that can teach at the school? Oh, thank you for the silver star, Sylvia. Thank you. Oh, his detention has generated not only great sympathy for his plight, but heightened the sense of apprehension here on campus. Well, Gundam says, my geology professor was on a team that tried to calculate the blast and safe zones at Mount St. Helens. His friend took the advice and set up a camera. It was recovered. The pics were infamous for the incoming blast. Wow. Going to be
dip rosemary into honey at 9 o'clock every morning and clear out the toxins and microplastics that are literally melting your brain from the inside out. If
That's
you
crazy.
or
Watch what hydrogen peroxide actually do to your teeth and gums when you're struggling with dental issues.
The Mayo Clinic confirms that gum disease.
Quote, he is an effective and beloved teacher and a highly regarded colleague, end quote. This is how the University of Maryland School of Pharmacy describes Dr. Berhanu Kibret, an Ethiopian native who has been a professor at the school for the last 3 years. In addition to teaching, they say he conducts research specifically on addiction causes and treatment. He won the Teacher of the Year award this year at a meeting for the American Association of Colleges of Pharmacy. On his way back from the trip just weeks ago, on July 21st, he was taken into custody by ICE at the Dallas-Fort Worth airport. Kelly Rojas with the Amica Center for Immigrant Rights says they are seeing an alarming new pattern of ICE arrests at airports.
We think it's because ICE is pursuing detention quotas without regards to underlying eligibility for relief, applications for relief, and also because
because they're here illegally, they all have to go. And they're flying on airplanes, so they're going through federal screening. So they have to provide documents. So they run them through the system, but they go, oh, you're here illegally, so they detain them. And if go figure, it's another liberal white woman that's destroying our country right here. This is what you call suicidal empathy. This lady has it. She wants to let all the illegals stay. Oh, they should be doing these other things. They should be letting them stay. Like, why did this guy come here in 2021 to be a professor at a school here from Ethiopia? Huh. Did he get his degree in Ethiopia? Does he even know what he's doing? Is he even, or is he just getting awards because he's, DEI hire, black, a foreigner? So he's got to be great. He's great because he's an immigrant and diversity is our strength and he's diverse. So he's the greatest teacher there is.
those people are kind of in the system and are easy targets for ICE.
We reported last week
Illegal aliens are
Dr.
easy
Fatima
targets.
Amiaka, a public health researcher at Johns Hopkins University, was detained while boarding a flight at BWI Thurgood Marshall Airport. The Department of Homeland Security said she overstayed her visa. Dr. Amiaka, a Cameroon native, is now back in Maryland. And in a statement from a Johns Hopkins University spokesperson, they say they are pleased to have supported efforts towards her release. DHS cited a similar reason for detaining Dr. Kibret. Quote, against our nation's laws, he overstayed his visa and failed to depart. He will remain in ICE custody pending his immigration proceedings, end quote. In a statement from the University of Maryland School of Pharmacy, they said, quote, the university is greatly troubled by what has happened. His detention has generated not only great sympathy for his plight, but also a heightened sense of apprehension here on campus, end quote. They added, Dr. Kibret has a valid work authorization, and they hope the issue is resolved soon so he can return to campus as soon as possible.
He clearly doesn't have a valid work authorization. Clearly he doesn't. If he overstayed his visa and he was only supposed to be here for a couple of years. Yes, grab them all, get the fuck out. That's right. ICE is protecting illegals from me. All illegals need to go to ICE for safety. There you go. There you go, Weevo. That's what I say. Yes. Those are his picks. Amazing. Yes. So, per multiple sources, ICE made roughly 51,000 arrests during the month of July, an average of 1,600 a day. They need to make 500,000 arrests a month, in my opinion. Yeah. So say, oh no, a troll has been called out. He's appealing because he has no other course. What a pathetic piece of shit. Oh my God. Bottom line, ICE has notched back-to-back months of their highest arrest totals in agency history. Good. Good. I want them to keep setting records. Don't you guys want them to keep setting records every month? You know, here's the pictures of that Mount St. Helens that someone showed me. These are, Mount St. Helens. This is the oldest vintage picture showing the fury of Mount St. Helens. So we came across photographs that captured the moments, but there are other captures in history. The bulge that signaled disaster. See that bulge in the crater there? That was a warning sign for people new to get out. Or he forgot to file a timely extension, what makes him illegal. Yes, he didn't file an extension on his visa. How was the guy hired with only 1 year until his visa expired? The university could have hired him on H-1B, or they could have gotten an extension. Yeah, well, they didn't. They just think they could do whatever because Biden didn't care. So a tragic race against time. Before Mount St. Helens blew in 1980, the mountain practically grew a deformity. Magma trapped inside caused the north face to swell outward by up to 5 feet a day. Oh, look at that. That's a car covered in ash and stuff, I believe. So the haunting image shows an ash-buried car of photographer Reed Blackburn stationed about 8 miles from the volcano. He tried to flee when the mountain blew. However, nobody could outrun the main pyroclastic flow, which clock speeds of 670 miles an hour, reached 1,300 degrees, tragically claiming his life. Yeah, you can't get away from that. A survivor's terrifying view. Look at that coming at him. Wow. Pyroclastic flow. Yeah. That's basically, if I'm not mistaken, it's like hot gases that are, 1,000, 1,300, 1,500 degrees, and gases and just dust and everything, molten dust and stuff. Ash makes beautiful glass work. Angst is so glad my mom and dad were not racist or colorist. Yeah, me too. And not unless you're in a jet. If you're in a jet, you could probably outrun it. Yeah, but I believe it moves like several hundred miles an hour. The juxtaposition of snow on an active volcano is fascinating. It truly is. This incredible photo shows a massive pyroclastic flow swallowing the landscape was captured by a survivor. These boiling walls of ash, rock, and gas obliterate everything in their path. Well, they usually clock speeds well over 50 miles an hour. Okay, so over 50. I thought they went faster than that. The initial blast moved even faster, leaving zero room for error. Redefining the skyline. So the contrast between these two views of Spirit Lake shows the sheer scale of the eruption. Before 1980, Mount St. Helens was a symmetrical snow-capped peak, often called the Fuji of America. Afterward, it left a gaping, hollowed-out horseshoe crater. Wow. The eruption's raw powers are a reminder that even landscapes shaped by the oldest mountain ranges in the world are never truly still, but they're constantly moving. They can move up to many hundreds of miles an hour. That's what I thought. Italy is going to blow soon, too. Camp Flegrei area is starting to develop a bulge and spewing gas. Hot gas. Yes. Witnessing from a neighboring peak. So this is somebody that was on a different peak, checking it out, watching. Going, oh my God, look at it go. Boom. The ultimate rear view nightmare. Wow. Richard Lasher shows his red Ford Pinto and motorcycle parked on a logging road as a monstrous wall of ash towers over the tree line. Realizing the danger, he quickly turned around and managed to outrun the cloud. Yeah, so surviving the darkest day. Still comes from legendary footage captured by Como News photographer Dave Crockett. Caught directly in the path of the eruption, Crockett kept his camera rolling as the mountain blew ash and turned morning into absolute midnight. Perfect peak to hollowed crater. So there's what the peak looked like, and there's the crater. You see look at it, like boom, it's gone. Wow. These are the final harrowing frames captured by Robert Landsberg. Realizing he couldn't outrun the advancing ash cloud, he chose to document his approach until the last second. Then he packed away his camera, wound the film, and shielded his backpack with his own body to preserve the historic final images to the world. Wow. Water skiing on the edge of doom. This is somebody water skiing with it going up behind him. Shows bizarre contrast, everyday recreation, sudden, world-altering destruction. Look at that. Floating forest of Spirit Lake. It's all the trees and stuff that got blown into the lake. tower of ash and smoke. Yeah. Scars that never faded. Yeah. Wow. Shockwave unleashed. Wow. Aerial view of the awakening. There it goes. Boom. A high-resolution scan, as shown here, captures Mount St. Helens venting steam and ash in the weeks leading up to the main disaster. David Johnson's final watch. A morbid reminder that this is the last known photograph of USGS volcanologist David Johnson taken just 13 hours before the eruption. Sitting by his trailer on Coldwater Ridge, Johnson was the first to report the blast. Famously radioing, Vancouver, this is it, seconds before his observation post was obliterated. The eruption stands alongside other ancient disasters, reminding us how profoundly. So this guy was a volcanologist, and he was way too close and didn't even realize it. 4 years of absolute wasteland. Yeah, look at that. So, rare aerial photograph captures the eruption 30 seconds after initial collapse. A grandfather's front row seat. Cannon shows a climber camped high on the slopes of nearby Mount Rainier, looking back across the horizon as a terrifyingly massive ash cloud of Mount St. Helens fills the sky. Wow. Midnight at noon in the airfield. Wow. Wow. That's crazy. So, yeah. I mean, like, a lot of people don't realize, I mean, I don't know. That whenever something's called like Mount St. Helens, Mount Rainier, Mount Shasta, those are all volcanoes, you know. You flying a Cuban flag, I need to debrief you. I'm not. What are you talking about? Oh, okay, never mind. So a 56-hour challenge. Ultra swimmer becomes first man to cross the Baltic Sea between Sweden and Poland. Wow, that's some cold water too. Well, in a pantheon of athletes pushing the envelope, the swimmer has a well-earned place. On Sunday, a Polish man became the first swimmer to cross the Baltic Sea between Sweden and Poland. Wow. Bartholomew Kubluski swam 100 miles from Kasbergia to southern Sweden. During the swim, he's unable to sleep or touch the support boat that provided him with food and drink. Wow. So this guy swam for a 56-hour swim. It took 56 hours in the water. Wow.
Dawaj, Bartek! Dawaj tu! Dawaj tu!
Wow. 56-hour swim, man. That's crazy. Look at him coming ashore. People are like, don't touch him. You got to get out of the water. You can't touch him. He's got to make it out on his own. Once he gets on the dry land, they're like, okay. All right. Oh, crazy. Wow. So this is where he swam from Poland to Sweden. Wow. Here's an image of the Polish to Swedish map. Wow. The crowds at JimTellsYou Beach. JimTellsYou Beach. Welcomes him with cheers and applause. Jak się masz? Dobrze, dobrze. Zobacz, zobacz.
Trzymał to tempo, dlatego kontynuowaliśmy ten wyścig.
I na pewno napędzało go również to, że płynął w szczytnym celu. Już ponad 680 prawie tysięcy.
Wow, that's crazy. All right. So that's crazy. All right. We got this story here. It says an Afghan 28-year-old asylum seeker posed as a teen boy on Snapchat and raped a 13-year-old girl. You don't say. Huh. Why would they do that? Why would they do that? Oh, I know, because they're savages. He forgot his passport. He has to swim back for it. Yes. Prosecutors say the 28-year-old Afghan asylum seeker groomed the teenager online before taking her to Woodland in Nottingham, where he raped her. Asylum seeker posed as a 14-year-old boy on Snapchat before grooming and raping a 13-year-old Nottingham schoolgirl. Abdul Khan is standing trial at Nottingham Crown Court charged with 9 offenses, including rape, sexual communication with a child, meeting a child following grooming, sexual activity with a child, and perverting the course of justice. Yes, but don't forget, diversity is our strength. Yes, yes. So he's standing trial for all this stuff. The Daily Mail reported that Khan denies all the charges. Prosecutor Kevin Jones told jurors the alleged offenses began as a teenager received a Snapchat friend request from someone using the name ABS. According to the prosecution, the girl told the account she was 14 years old and was told the sender was also 14. The pair exchanged messages before arranging to meet after school on May 14th. I'm constantly asking myself if everything is rage bait. I don't know, but everything does upset me. Really, it does. It really upsets me. I'll take the Afghan to the top of the volcano and kick him in the big ash hole. There you go. Where's Robin Hood when you need him? Yeah, or the sheriff of Nottingham, maybe. Somebody. Shasta's last eruption was 1250, so I think I'm safe for my lifetime. Not much more left of it. Okay. Has anyone in here been having buffering issues? Need to know for another stream. It's been buffering, like we've had tons of buffering issues, Vivent. It's been horrible. Horrible tonight. Horrible buffering on YouTube. YouTube's either having issues, like there's something going on with a data center problem, or they're being DDoSed or something. The court heard the teenager met Khan at a tram stop, but was surprised when he did not resemble the person shown on the Snapchat photos. Jurors were told the pair briefly visited a friend's house before leaving together with Khan, suggesting they go to Scout Wood Nature Reserve in Clifton. Prosecutors allege he attempted to kiss the girl. Mr. Jones told the court once inside the woodland, the asylum seeker began unbuttoning the girl's trouser and instructed her to lie on the ground. The prosecutor said the teenager complied because she was trying not to panic. Several channels have had buffering. Yeah, it was horrible. It was horrible. I think an Afghan chopped up his wife and stuffed in a suitcase recently, too, in the UK. Yeah. The court heard the girl return home, but initially did not tell her father what happened. After an argument, she reportedly messaged a friend saying that she had been raped before disclosing the allegation to her father. Prosecutors told the jury a forensic exam of the girl's school trousers identified DNA, which matched Khan. The court also heard Khan was later arrested by the Derbyshire police on an unrelated matter involving sexual communication with a child. You don't say. It's just a crazy story, isn't it? 14-year-old girl, 28-year-old guy pretended to be 14 to meet her 13. Yeah, 13, 14. Big pen, insert in temple and run. Better be charged in that. That's right. According to the prosecution, Khan told police he entered the United Kingdom in the back of a lorry in 2015. Provided a date of birth of December 6, 2004 as part of an asylum application. Khan claimed he was 16 years old and denied the allegations, telling officers he's never had sex before. Khan is being assisted throughout the trial by a Pashto interpreter. Yeah, they'll give him community service. Probably in Britain, that's how they do. That's how they do in Britain now. Britain is lost. It really is. So, Britain is lost. Anyone here ever chased a pretty girl riding shotgun the freeway only to find out it was an Afghan dog? No. Oh. Britons are banned from hanging national St. George's Cross and Union Jack flags on lampposts. Anyone breaching the order will now face imprisonment. So in Britain, you'll go to jail for actually hanging the country's flag. Can you believe it? Actually hanging the country's flag is a crime. Wow. 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 Can you believe it? I can't believe it. We're all just still angry from Biden and COVID destroying our society. Well, you know. Liberal Democrat-run councils won a high court injunction banning campaigners from hanging St. George's Cross and Union flags from lampposts and painting patriotic symbols on roads across Oxfordshire, with anyone breaching the order now facing the prospect of imprisonment, unlimited fines, or asset seizures. The injunction granted Friday by Mr. Justice Dexter Diaz follows months of legal action. Wow. Yes, if displaying your own country's flag in your country is a crime, you are truly lost. Totally. Yeah, some dude got arrested for wearing a cap on his head for the British flag. Yeah, it's crazy. It is. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy what's happening. It really is. It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. It really is unbelievable. So, according to judgment, council workers repeatedly removed flags only to find replacements appearing shortly after. There's little prospect absent injunction that this will stop. He said workers responsible for removing the flags face intimidation and abuse. Like, this is nuts, man. What is going on? This is nuts. These are British flags. These are British flags. This is nuts. This is Britain. What is happening? Yeah, Britain is lost, taken over by Soros and the WEF, WHO. Yeah, it's crazy. The council said it spent £80,000 removing flags alongside $40,000 in legal costs. They welcomed the ruling. These council people, need to get voted out. The ruling comes after months of debate surrounding Operation Raise the Colors, which supporters viewed as a patriotic campaign celebrating England's national symbols, while council officials argue that repeated displays created safety risks. So putting up your country's flag is a safety risk. What is happening? What is happening? If upheld and enforced, the injunction gives authorities sweeping power to pursue future breaches with penalties, including imprisonment. Oh. Wow. 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 And Andy No reports that Zizian death cult murder trials delayed again. You guys know about this, right? The Zizians killing people? Yeah, I'm going to keep my 2A. There you go. That's right. So, in Fairfield, California, the murder trial of two members of the Zizian trans death cult accused in the 2022 killing of one of their own and the attempted murder of their landlord has been delayed again. Delayed again. Yes. Delayed again. The tentative trial date is now January of 2027. Alexander Jadzia Latham and Tessa Burns, who were charged under the alias Suri Daro, have faced murder and attempted murder charges since 2022. This is ridiculous. That's 5 years. 5 years on a murder. That's crazy to be waiting to go to trial. They've also disrupted legal proceedings by repeatedly shouting about trans genocide. Trans violence is real. Hormones, human experiments, swords, guns, bodies. This is the true story of the Zizians.
Who are the Zizians? It's a question that consumed my life, one that took me from England back to America to investigate from coast to coast. What began as a small and obscure California community became something else entirely. A cult built around a trans figure known as Ziz. Around Ziz, a secretive network of transgender devotees emerged. What they left behind was a trail of violence linked to 8 deaths, including a Border Patrol agent and a key murder trial witness. Over nearly a decade, the group recruited followers from around the world and spread across the United States before collapsing in a dramatic interstate manner. As I investigated, the story became darker, more shocking with every turn. Left-wing ideology, hideouts on land and at sea, staged deaths, human experimentation, brutal violence, murder. I tracked down sources, interviewed witnesses, uncovered hidden records, and pieced together an impossible story from fragments scattered across the world. What emerged was one of the most disturbing investigations I've ever undertaken. This is the true story of the Zizians.
The Zizians inside a trans cult. So, the prosecution was suspended for 18 months between 2023 and 2024 while he underwent treatment to legally restore his competency. Court records show that health professionals concluded he did not suffer from a psychiatric disorder that rendered him incompetent to stand trial, raising questions about whether his repeated courtroom outbursts were calculated to delay the proceedings. Yeah, well, I mean, if somebody keeps doing that and keeps like having outbursts in court and interrupting things and stuff, they can actually move them to basically hold them in a room and just have them. They did that. Remember, what was the guy's name? The guy with the truck, what was it with the SUV that smashed through the church dancers, the dancing grannies at that Wisconsin, I think it was outside Milwaukee, church parade or whatever. Remember? I can't remember his name. The guy who's grounds, that guy. They just moved him to a different room. You just don't let him break it up. So one of the nurses who cared for her terrified that Burns to move and spent hours each day lying in her own urine and feces. Well, Burns' competency was fully restored. He was ordered transferred to the Napa State Hospital in Napa, California. Daryl Brooks. Yeah. So they belong to the Zizians, a trans death cult led by Jack Lasota, a man who identifies as a woman and uses the name Ziz. Its members are left-wing trans vegans, many with elite educational backgrounds in science and math. The group has been compared to the Charles Manson cult. Their esoteric ideology blends rationalism, AI research, and veganism, anarchist politics, and trans ideology. Wow. Who cares? So, wow. Amir Emma Bahrainian was shot dead by the victim, whatever that means. Okay. It was a Christmas parade. Yeah. Fort grounds. Yes. He acted as his own defense attorney. Yeah, but he kept doing crazy shit too. So, all right. And Zelensky dismisses ambassador to the U.S. Olga Stefanishina, investigated by the Ukrainian anti-corruption agencies. Everybody in Ukraine seems to be corrupt. What I see happening here. So that everybody's corrupt. Olga Stefanishky. She was corrupt. The troublesome government reshuffle that Voldemort Zelensky is implementing, while most attention has been devoted to Zelensky firing defense minister and his commander-in-chief general counsel, the Ukrainian press reported that the start of the reason for the shakeup was ambassador to the U.S. Olga Stefanishian. This one. She's been dismissed from the post of Ukraine's ambassador to the United States. It's become known for Zelensky's decree. Wow. Zelensky signed a decree booting Oshna with no explanation given. Wow. So they're just, who is this guy? Who, me? My name's Jim. My name's just Jim. Just Jim. And I just tell you the news as best I can, really. I do my best. I do my best. I do my best. So she said on Facebook that she would address matters in the media if she could or something. So Ukrainian media outlet said she was informed that she had informed the president of her intention to leave her post last month. It's a moving attempt by Reuters to minimize the seriousness of the charges, like a mere problem filing a form or something. Well, everyone in this chat should be armed. You should have weapons against this. If you don't, strive for it. Yeah. So, but in reality, it's quite different. The Lukash case, Stefania helped organize studies adopting Ukrainian law to EU norms. The work cost Ukraine about $2.5 million. She received notice of suspicious for a large-scale embezzlement. Anti-corruption agencies examined links of her circle, her husband, ex-husband, for mismanagement of Arma, seized assets from the trade union house. It's not just a clerical error. Zelensky's latest government reshuffle was triggered by incoming corruption scandal. Well, so basically, this is like news to someone, but not me, not to anybody I would think in this chat. Everybody in this chat knows that Ukraine is very corrupt. And, man fatally shot outside Portland ICE facility. Suspect remains at large. Wow. So they're killing people at ICE facilities. So a man was shot and killed outside the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement facility in Portland, Oregon. The incident's being investigated as a homicide. The area surrounding the ICE facility is shut down while police investigate. The victim died on the scene, and the suspect remains at large. But there's nothing to worry about here. Authorities are investigating a homicide outside the Portland ICE facility. The area is shut down.
ICE not involved?
No.
Yeah, didn't think so. Okay, thank you.
The killing occurred at 4:10 a.m. A sergeant assigned to the Portland Police Bureau Central Precinct was on routine patrol when he spotted a vehicle that crashed into a building. So community members were calling 911 to report shots fired. Suspecting the two incidents were related, the sergeant and responding officers approached the vehicle and found an adult male unconscious and suffering from gunshot wounds. Officers pulled the individual out of the vehicle, performed life-saving measures. Unfortunately, the male was pronounced deceased at the scene. The shooting appears to have been occurred at a traffic light on Bancroft Street. The victim's vehicle rolled down a hill and crashed into the building. Suspect fled in a vehicle, according to police. Yeah, gross. Nothing will happen. Seattle doesn't care. Yeah. They spelled Antifa wrong on their cars. Yes. I live in Oregon. I don't know what's going on here. Well, many people don't know. So this area is notorious for ongoing anti-ICE demonstrations. Portland police officer at the scene told the Post Millennial that ICE was not involved in the shooting. So nobody cares, I guess, because ICE isn't involved. So someone asked for updates on stuff with Iran. I mean, we have this video from earlier today of an F-22 strike stealth fighter receiving fuel from a KC-135 Stratotanker while in the skies over the Middle East. That's a nice F-22 Raptor, right? Yes. And then this next one says, U.S. sailors stand watch in the Combat Information Center aboard the USS Boxer, amphibious assault ship in the waters supporting the blockade against Iran. U.S. forces have redirected 45 commercial vessels and disabled 2. Southern route through the Strait of Hormuz remains free and open for all commercial vessels seeking to transit the international waterway. The U.S. forces have assisted more than 1,000 vessels in successfully transiting the strait, despite unwarranted Iranian aggression. That's it. That's all the news. That's all the news for today on that. That's it. That's all there is. Appeals court upholds Florida's ban on children attending sexualized drag shows. Well, that's good news, wouldn't you say? Wouldn't you say that's good news? I would say that's good news. That's what I would say. I would say it's good news. But what am I? Who am I? Who am I? Michigan primary, Abdul El Sayed, 52%. Haley Stevens, 44%. Yeah, I think Abdul's going to win. So, I mean, that primary. Local courthouse spelled Juneteenth wrong here. The sign said Happy Juneteenth. I have the photos. That's funny. So, appeals court on Tuesday sided with Florida, affirming the state's ban on children attending drag shows. Florida Attorney General called the ruling a huge victory for our team. Florida's Protection of Children Act makes it a misdemeanor to knowingly admit a child to an adult live performance that depicts nudity, sexual conduct, sexual excitement, or specific sexual activities, lewd conduct, or lewd exposure. Wow. And of lewd exposure of prosthetic or imitation genitals or breasts. So, yeah, so even if it's fake stuff, even if it's fake, it's a crime. So the state had been sued by a restaurant called Hamburger Mary's, arguing that lewd is overbroad, that a portion of the act related to the age of the child is overbroad and vague. What? Huge victory for our team. Great work by the Solicitor General. Yeah. So, after additional briefing, with the benefit of oral argument, we're convinced the district court erred in preliminary enjoining the enforcement of the act. First, the district court lacked authority to impose a universal injunction to prevent enforcement of the act against everyone in Florida. Second, Hamburger Mary's was not entitled to even a more limited preliminary injunction to prevent enforcement of the act because it claims to not have a substantial likelihood of success on the merits. Well, I mean, that is the grounds for not getting it. In vacating a preliminary injunction placed on the law, the court ruled because Hamburger Mary's has failed to establish a likelihood of success on the merits, we cannot sustain the district court's injunction. So yeah, so a district court enjoined it, but then the appeals court said no. All right. So we'll talk a little bit about some commies in Wisconsin. So Bill Maher says Francesca Hong, who's all in on abolishing the police, and says, I think it's a perfect world to be a world without prisons. No governor can defund the police, and I won't defund the police. I'm not interested in abolishing prisons. What I'm interested in is being serious about safety. So let's see.
Francesca Hong, yet another major Democratic candidate who's all in on abolishing the police and is running for governor of Wisconsin, says, I think that my perfect world would be a world without prisons because we all see the humanity in one another and then we know nobody's disposable.
Wow. Well, what about all the victims of the crimes? If you don't separate the criminals out of society, I guess that it's just up to the people to separate the criminals out of society. I guess that's where we're at. How did that just happen? What is going on? No. Why did that happen? That's crazy. That's crazy. Like, this woman is legitimately crazy. She was hospitalized for mental issues. She ran an ad talking about, I run a restaurant and all this stuff, when she doesn't run a restaurant. She went bankrupt. She went out of business. She owes money to like creditors and stuff. And it's all an act. I mean, we got to stop. We got to stop letting crazy women run shit, because this is what's happening. Crazy women are running shit.
Well, murder victims are
What's your response to that?
No, the governor cannot defund the police, and I won't defund the police. And I'm not interested in abolishing prisons. What I am interested in is being serious about safety. And that means ensuring that law enforcement has the training that they need and that we're holding law enforcement that break the law accountable. What also means that we have to be tough on causes if we're going to be tough on crime, and investing in the things that we know prevent crime, like funding schools, great out-of-school programs, making sure that we have mental health resources and addiction resources, good housing, and healthier healthcare. So, and it's, those photos that he put up, I think he had to, because the real story is when you look at our campaign events and the people who are organizing repair cafes and coming together at bowling alleys, and first-time voters talking to people who may have not have voted in the last 6 years, there is an immense amount of joy and creativity and people feeling excited to be engaged in politics. That's what this campaign is about. And we're talking about the issues that they care about. And I think it's important that we help voters feel like they belong before we make them believe in something. And that's what's been really great about running a grassroots movement.
Commie gobbledygook. That's commie gobbledygook right there. They just lie overtly and blatantly to people who question their perceptions. It works so no one expects a person to lie overtly. Well, that's how they do it, though. That's how they do it. Meanwhile, happening at the St. Paul, Minnesota City Council, we have this.
What we're all participating in here is a settler colony on stolen land. This is a government that represents the settlers and the capitalists and the other neoliberal fascists that live amongst us. Why are they brutalizing all of these innocent, beautiful people? It's crazy.
Why is this guy wearing a mask? This is St. Paul, Minnesota. Didn't Minnesota pass a law that made it illegal to wear masks? Or is that just if you're ICE officers, they said you can't wear masks, but that was overturned. You can't do that. So, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they take care of their pets at home and they take care of their kids at home and they kiss their, kids goodnight and all that. But what this government, what this system exists to do is to enforce private property.
Yeah, private property. Everybody has a right to private property. These are fucking communist people. Anyone who votes for Democrats now are voting for communists. The Democrat Party has been taken over by communists.
And if these people think that they can just go live in the park, no. That'll bring all our property values down. That'll collapse the whole system. So what can we do besides beg and plead, you motherfuckers, for a little bit of humanity? I think what we should do is take their ability away to brutalize us like this. I think we should take away the weapons from the armed group of thugs that they use to brutalize all of us.
Oh, the brown thugs. That dude looks like a mushroom. Yeah, he looks like the mushroom character from Mario Brothers, right? Or Pete, what's it called? You know what I'm talking about? The little mushroom-headed dude from Mario Brothers. They want to live in your house. Yes, they really piss me off. They piss me off too. I can't stand them. They're really getting on my nerves. They're really getting on my nerves. So, and then a group of North Carolinians refused to give Muslims a permit to demolish a residential home and build a 3,000 square foot mosque just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. All right. He did not inform the neighbors of his plan to build a mosque when he purchased the homes. So let's see what the neighbors have to say about this.
He and his wife learned that there were plans to build a 3,000 square foot mosque right next door. They put their house up for sale almost immediately.
The prices on the
Take
house
care,
started
Anton. Have a
going
nice
down,
night.
So it's harder to sell a house.
According to land records, the 5-acre property was purchased in January by Waxland Investments, an LLC owned by Arafat Muhammad, who filed a permit with Lancaster County to demolish this home and build a mosque with 28 parking spots in what's known as a low-density residential area.
Because of its standing assembly, we're saying 100 people with only 28 cars, which is again a very light
assembly.
At the Lancaster County Council meeting on Monday, members heard from those both for and against the project.
For many of us, this is a place of worship and a place of peace, reflection, and learning.
Islam is not a religion, it's a takeover.
The individuals who will use the center are already part of this county.
We do not want Sharia law in this area.
After more than 2 hours of public comment,
all those in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand.
Council voted unanimously to deny the permit, with members emphasizing their votes had nothing to do with religion, but all
about the location. Yes, they want special treatment. 28 cars too many. That's right. Crazy is a pandemic on the left. That's right. Eat healthy food, folks. Buy your meat from the King of Biltong. www.biltongusa.com and use promo code JIM to save 10%. You know that most Muslims walk to the mosque from their house. They don't drive. Yeah. It's past time people wake up. It is. It is. They need to wake up. The Trump administration has trucking crackdowns lands 51 immigration detainers, 36 English language proficiency violations, and 3,487 enforcement stops. Operation Highway Shield, which began in Florida earlier this year, expanded to Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, and Ohio, and resulted in 766 unsafe commercial vehicles, roughly $1 million in stolen freight. Wow. And then we were watching some of this stuff the other day, this stuff in Ceuta, Spain. And then they caught a journalist was nearly stabbed yesterday, and the media are staging photos with kids to try and like make people think like, oh no, don't worry, it's okay. There they are, look at them staging a photo with little kids. Ready? This is why you should hate the media right here. They're purposely doing this to say, oh, no, look, it's not. It's just little kids. It's just little kids. See, here's this little kid. He's scared and he wants to come here. It's crazy. Crazy. This is crazy, too. Cambridge professor told the university audience he appeared on the TV series 7 Up. One small problem, the show premiered in 1964. He wasn't born until 1985. He also claimed he didn't learn to read or write until he was 18, then somehow ended up as a Cambridge professor. Now he's in the middle of a plagiarism scandal, accused of lifting his PhD thesis from someone else's work. His response is he's not a liar or a fantasist. He's just misunderstood. Yeah, being on a TV show that aired 21 years before you're born isn't a misunderstanding. It's fiction. We need to stop calling it start to call it what it is. Yeah, Plagiarism Row professor says he was on a TV series which broadcast decades before he was born. I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy. And here's John Thune basically giving us all the finger and telling us all to fuck off. All right.
What is the status on Clarity Act?
Bye. I'm leaving. We're taking everybody home and not for you. There you go. That's Thune basically telling us all to fuck off. That might have been one of the urinalist kids. Yes. Hey, what's up, Derek? Great to see you. He also ran 600 miles in 60 days. Yes. He's crazy. This guy's like, no save act for you. Yes, that's right. Here's Demon Rat Seth Moulton wants to prosecute ICE officers for enforcing the law, and he wants to give mass amnesty to illegal aliens. These are the commie demon rats right here. Here they are.
Well, I want to be very clear. I have a very clear 3-point immigration program. Number one, prosecute ICE. Prosecute them for violating the law. They need to be held accountable. Number two, create an immigration system that actually incentivizes people to come here legally, not illegally. My office has won 5 democracy awards, one of them for constituent services. We're regarded as one of the best immigration offices in the entire country, in part because we worked so hard to get our allies out of Afghanistan. But it was hard.
This guy, like communists, all of them. These are all communists. We're going to prosecute ICE officers for enforcing the law. Okay. All right. This is where we're at. This is a little bit more on the Cambridge professor clone. So, it says the DEI obsessed Cambridge professor accused of plagiarism claimed racist sent severed pig's head to his family home. People need to wake up. if Democrats retake power, they will in the filibuster. They'll open the borders. They'll outlaw conservatives. Yeah, they'll make it illegal. Yeah. So, Cambridge professor is facing fresh scrutiny after police contradicted his claims that officers investigated in the alleged delivery of a severed pig's head to his family home, while the University of Glasgow has rejected a claim contained in his official Cambridge biography. The latest revelations deepen a growing controversy surrounding the sociology of education professor who's already embroiled in a plagiarism scandal. Like, it's just insanity. It really is that this is still going on. These people should just be fired. So, the professor previously claimed in a newspaper that the severed pig's head had been delivered to his parents' home in South London as part of a campaign of racist intimidation, following his appointment as the university's youngest black professor in 2023. So, he reportedly said he intercepted the package before later informing police, who he claimed investigated the incident, even traced the purchase of a whole pig from a local butcher. However, the Metropolitan Police has now confirmed it has no record of any reporting involving a pig's head, no record of any investigation, and no evidence that officers visited butcher shops. The butcher, identified by Our Day, also reportedly told journalists police never visited the premises, saying it was the sort of incident staff would have remembered. Professor Our Day was unable to produce photographs of the package or messages discussing the incident with families or police or anyone. Further questions have emerged over claims that he was twice confronted inside his Cambridge faculty building by masked men, including one incident in which the intruder reportedly threatened him with a knife if he did not resign. The incidents were reportedly never reported to police at the time. So this guy's just a liar who lies. That's all he is. I can't make people believe me. Why would I lie? Because you're a liar who lies. You fraudulently, everything about you is a lie. A further discrepancy emerged involving his official academic biography. The University of Glasgow denied he had ever held a visiting professorship there, directly contradicting a claim contained in the University of Cambridge profile. YouTube will reinstate banning of us. Yes, institute banning of us. Yes, they will. Cambridge University has declined to comment on the allegations. They continue to back him, saying, but he's the youngest black professor we've ever had. We gotta make sure that he doesn't, that we don't look stupid. Then we got some very strange news coming out of Massive Two Shits. I don't know if you guys know Massive Two Shits. It's a shitty place. It's a real shitty place. A lot of people say it. A lot of people say it's a very shitty place. They're working on a bill to have a commission where Muslims weigh in on every piece of legislation and put Muslims in every level of government. It's 100% real. It's the Allahu Akbar Commission. Legislators in Massachusetts want to force on the people. They want Muslims to weigh in on every piece of legislation. They want Muslims appointed to every level of government. Wow.
Update on the Allahu Akbar Commission that legislators in Massachusetts want to force on the people. Here are the names of the 14 America-hating politicians who sponsored the bill to create this Muslim commission that will infiltrate every area of law and government. James Eldridge, Vanna Howard, Manny Cruz. They want Muslims to weigh in on every piece of legislation. Robin Kennedy, Jason Lewis, Adam Gomez. They want Muslims appointed to every level of government. Joanne Comerford, John Cronin, Liz Miranda. They want Muslims to grade every single state agency to make sure that they meet the Allahu Akbar standards. Pavel Payano, William Driscoll, Jacob Oliveira, Michael Moore, Patricia Jalen. They want to pick 11 Muslims for this commission. Word on the street is that so many people picked up the phone and called their elected officials that they're backing off the plan, but do not be fooled. They will try again, except next time they'll be sneakier about it. They'll keep trying to get their Allahu Akbar votes one way or another. Vote these America-hating psychopaths out of office.
This is one of those bills that you cannot believe that it's real, but it is real and Democrats are working on it. I know this video said that the bill was likely going to die, but that actually is not the case. It is very much alive and it is being worked on right now, and I'll show you the proof of that.
So they want to say here, the bill's real. It's an act promoting the civil rights and inclusion of American Muslims in the Commonwealth. Wouldn't that be unconstitutional? You know, they want to have them be on the Committee for Racial Equity. But Muslim isn't a race. Advise executive and legislative bodies on the effect of legislation on American Muslims, the cultural heritage of American Muslims, study on reports of Islamophobia trends. So that's what's happening, folks. They're trying to, basically, they're conquering you. They're conquering you. They're conquering you. Denver City Council considers opening every meeting with a mandatory slavery acknowledgement. Are they going to acknowledge all the slaves that the Barbary pirates enslaved all the white people? Are they going to acknowledge that? The Americans that were enslaved by the Barbary pirates? I mean, come on. Denver City Council is considering opening its meetings with a formal statement acknowledging the history of enslaved Africans and their descendants. Was Colorado a slave state? No. It sparked debate over how government should address the legacy of slavery. Colorado was never a slave state and became part of the Union after the Civil War. The proposed labor acknowledgement introduced last fall by Council member Chantel Lewis would recognize the lasting impact of slavery, the transatlantic slave trade, and racial segregation, while affirming the city's commitment to addressing inequalities that continue today.
Think about like my family's history, and my dad was a migrant worker and grew up working in the fields. And so I see this, and I also think of an experience of Colorado and of what like my family has experienced. And I'm asking, was there consideration of expanding or broadening to be able to reflect that?
No, I think we thought about it in the same way that we did the land acknowledgement in terms of like foundational, like the foundational experience within this country. And so the labor being specific to those that were taken from Africa onto this continent, and that land.
Taken? Were they taken or were they sold by other Africans? I believe they were sold by other Africans. I don't think anybody went to Africa and took people. They were sold. There were slave markets. They were selling people. Learn the fucking history. Jesus Christ, man. If you want to complain about slavery, go to Africa and complain to the fucking people who enslaved them.
They were being forced.
Do you know of another city that names a perpetrator group? So like the phrase at the hands of white Americans. I know that there are a bunch of labor acknowledgements that talk about systems like white settler colonialism, but it doesn't talk about groups. Historically, the family of labor acknowledgements tend to talk more about systems instead of groups.
Yeah. So again, the language came from examples from all across the country that we.
You know that the largest slave owner in the South was a black man? He funded the Civil War. His entire wealth was paid to fund the Confederacy, to fight the war. 2 of his sons or 3 of his sons died fighting for the Confederacy. Did you know that? Yeah, Wakanda is real.
Kind of put together. I would imagine that is probably uncomfortable, but in the conversations that we had, no one had pulled that out specifically to say, hey, can we look at this language and do something differently?
Wow. I guess if they could say that language, then we could say language about people committing crimes and statistics about crimes and stuff. So maybe we should have an acknowledgement of the scourge of crime that's perpetrated on the American public and who's doing it. Yeah. Inequalities, like how some people are way better at committing violent crimes than others. Yes. It's insane. The country's economy, infrastructure, and generational wealth would not exist as they do today without the stolen and forced labor of enslaved Africans and their descendants. While Colorado was never a slave state, becoming part of the Union after the Civil War, the shadow of slavery was ever present. So Lewis spent months working with the Denver African American Commission, Justice for Black Coloradans, and other community organizations to refine the language. Lewis has filed to run as a DSA-backed Democrat candidate for Denver mayor. Oh, go figure. An unapologetic black queer womex, grounded in values. Yeah. Commie. It's a fucking commie gobbledygook to destroy the country. This is all this is, man. This is all this is. Commie gobbledygook to destroy the fucking country. The Choctaw and their slaves fought on the side of the Confederacy. Oh, yes, they did. They did. Yeah, the Democrats. Yeah, the Democrats, they did. A Canadian who battered patriotic teen on New Jersey boardwalk is ordered deported as she downplays the caught on camera attack. Yeah. The lefty Canadian illegal immigrant who attacked a teen is getting the boot back to Canuckistan. The Texas judge ordered Caitlin Tracy to be deported back to her home country before the teen slapper entered a guilty plea on the assault charge. Who attended a criminal court hearing in Toms River over the phone from Texas ICE lockup, only copped to one count of simple assault as part of a cushy plea deal. Besides exile to Canada, she was sentenced to 1 day behind bars, so she was granted time served. She was nabbed after confronting a group of 4 teenagers, including a girl wearing a USA 250 tank top. The Canadian girl got into an argument and slapped her across the face in a caught-on-camera assault. Yeah. Deport the husband, too. She overstayed her visa, was in the U.S. illegally at the time of her arrest. She's a maple leaf menace. The defense lawyers tried to paint her as a productive member of society. She arrived here on a passport some years ago. She met her husband and didn't leave. But while she was here illegally, she maintained employment. So she was working here illegally, too, stealing jobs from Americans. Wow. So she's taking responsibility for her role. Oh, and it's consistent with other similar events. The prosecution said the family of the victim, who only identified by initials, was on board with the plea. Yeah. Get her the fuck out of here. The parents recite that thank goodness for cameras and cell phones to document this incident. The notoriety and publicity has indicated they're proud of their country, love their country, they have core values. Yeah. The hate white North. Yeah. The not so nice neighbor from the North who's been living in Asbury Park with her husband of 3 years was initially charged with endangering the welfare of a child, simple assault, and harassment and obstruction. She was transferred from Delaney Hall to Newark's ICE Processing Center in Laredo, Texas, a 5-minute drive down the road from Laredo International Airport. How and when she'll be transported back to Canada and whether she'll ever be permitted to return to the U.S. wasn't clear. Should never be allowed to return to the U.S. Never. Yes, arrest her employer, too. Definitely. Arrest the employer that was letting her work here, which she has no permission to work here. Mm-hmm. That's what it sounds like to me. That's what it sounds like to me. Arrest everyone. We have to start prosecuting people. Oh, well, that's some good news. That's some good news. I saw that. Some good news. Okay. That is some good news. Mm-hmm. 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 This is a pile of poop. Yeah. Droney was noticeably absent from the courtroom after the self-styled social media star previously whined in a TikTok video that his wife was forced to endure horrible, squalid conditions at Delaney Hall. The 42-year-old husband, who bills himself as the jester of the Jersey Store and the clown of Asbury Park, has a lengthy history of posting unhinged lefty rants. So, praying the entire Trump family gets cancer. I mean, everybody, like the kids and shit. That's what the person said. So that's the type of scum we're dealing with here. and this is somewhat good news, I guess, maybe a little bit, is squad members come back thwarted as establishment Dems notch victory against the Socialists. So Wesley Bell defeated the crazy Cori Bush for a second time in St. Louis district for Missouri. So Cori Bush tried to come back, but couldn't. This is not going to play. Yeah, so. Well, that's good news. This crazy Cori Bush broad isn't coming back. I hear she's under investigation too for stealing money from like tornado relief and using it to campaign with and stuff. Yeah. These people need to go to jail. They all do. Yeah. The far left firebrand utilized a similar line of attack. When disaster caused $1.6 billion in damages, Wesley responded by hopping on a flight to Israel. Oh, yeah, so it was Israel's fault. But Bush is part of a wave of DSA candidates posing to challenge Democrats. It's a boon for Republicans who argue that Democrats are being pulled to the communist side, because they are. They're commies. Yeah, Rhino Senator Sue Collins will vote no on Todd Blanche's confirmation. Wow, go figure, huh? Go figure. Susan Collins is a piece of shit. Susan Collins will vote no on Todd Blanche's confirmation or nomination. McConnell's still out. Murkowski declined to comment. Bill Cassidy still hasn't committed to vote for Blanche either. While I believe Mr. Blanche is a capable lawyer, the Justice Department has become increasingly political, the Maine senator said. Really, more political than it was under Biden when they were going after their political opponents? I mean, we don't see that happening now. We see people going after crimes, not people. So per Punchbowl News, Collins points to approval of Trump's adult audit immunity deal and weaponization fund. Oh, okay. So Sue Collins is going to vote no. So whatever. Rhino piece of shit. She has to say what she has to say, though, because, re-election campaign. But then we got other Democrats doing crazy shit. We got a Hawaiian man knocked out a Demon Rat congressional candidate with one punch after he threatened to shoot a woman at Maui Beach. Police say Kirill Bassin became enraged after a 61-year-old masked him in the Lord of Music. Yeah, so he threatened to shoot the man's wife and several bystanders. When officers arrived, he threw a knife into the ocean. The same bystander swam out, recovered a knife, and handed it to police. He was charged with 2 counts of first-degree terroristic threatening. Police say he's been arrested in other assaults and property damage cases since May. Another successful day connecting with voters on the campaign trail. Yeah, this clown right here. Kirill Bassin, Democrat for Congress. Demon Rat for Congress.
Let's go. Oh, chair thrower.
He just like this. He's going to get him right in the button right there. Boink. Yeah, epitome of a rhino. What's up, Catherine K? Great to see you tonight.
Wake up. Wake up.
Wake up, Howley. Wake up,
Yeah.
Howley.
What you fucking about, Howley boy? Yeah? Try to stay right here.
Another brick in the wall. Well, that's crazy.
Fuck you!
Not my girls, right? You're not talking about my girls, right?
I don't care.
Don't do that, dude. Don't do
What are
that.
you gonna do?
Go ahead, just go. Just
What
go.
are you gonna do?
Don, go ahead.
Am
Go
I?
ahead.
I didn't fucking put him in the ground. I didn't put him in the ground. I put you in the ground. I can't. All right.
Oh, you're gonna
Let's
hit
go.
women now.
Let's go, bro.
Go ahead.
I'm good.
Let him
Let's do
have
it,
his
motherfucker.
I just said
Mike,
All right,
Mike.
good. It's over. It's over.
He's a child.
I'm a child. I'm 40 fucking years old.
He's a child that's 40 years old. Yeah. Uh-huh. That's the Democrats right there, man. Those are Democrats. Moby. Yeah, Moby's crazy. So if a man entices his wife with the promise of a new purse, is a crime. So All elected officials are betting on voters being absolutely idiots. They are, man. They think everybody's stupid. Everybody's stupid. Nobody knows nothing. That's what they think they are doing. Yes, it's crazy. It is. It's nuts. It's nuts what's happening, man. It's just nuts. Nutso butso. That's what's happening. Nutso butso. That's what's happening. Happening. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable what's happening. It really is. I got this. Morocco blames traffickers and fake promises of citizenship for the migrant invasion. So 70,000 people were brought there by traffickers and fake promises of for citizenship. No, I believe it was this government of Morocco that did this. Moroccan authorities are blaming human trafficking networks and social media misinformation for last week's mass migrant surge. 60,000 invaders crossed Morocco in one of the largest border breaches in history. The first public statement since the crisis, the Interior Minister said the influx was spontaneous circumstances or circumstantial factors, but malicious exploitation of digital space, according to the Spanish broadcaster. Wow. Moroccan officials say false interpretations of a recent Spanish Supreme Court ruling circulated online, convincing many prospective migrants that they would not face deportation if they reached Spain by sea. So Pedro Sanchez echoed the explanation, says, what emerged from our talks with Moroccan authorities that trafficking mafias took a self-serving interpretation of the Supreme Court ruling. Ooh. Sanchez, government backed a regularization program for undocumented aliens, for illegal aliens. Approximately 1.17 million people applying for legal status. Spanish officials said around 609,000 applicants received temporary work permits. 160,000 have secured formal employment. So, a Vox leader, Santiago Abascal, described the breach as an invasion and act of war promoted by Morocco. Secretary General of Spain's People Party criticized the government's immigration policies. No one can be surprised that thousands of people want to enter the country that regularizes more than 1 million irregular immigrants overnight. That's what's happening. That is what's happening. Got this crazy story. A billionaire suing Netflix for $105 million over stolen Nicolas Cage movie hits streamer with bombshell defamation suit. This is crazy, right? The Muslim commie won the Democrat Senate primary. Well, let's just hope he doesn't win the race. There's enough smart people left in Michigan, I guess. The case of the missing Nick Cage movie has took another twist. The writer, producer, and financier of the unreleased $45 million film that was stolen from Netflix's Hollywood headquarters is now suing the streaming giant for defamation. He filed an amended complaint in federal court, citing a statement made to the press by Netflix that accused law firms representing the Swiss billionaire of extortion. What movie is this? Is this like a Batman movie or something like that? Or Spider? What is this? So he stars in the unreleased film Fortitude. Said the bombshell breach of contract lawsuit against Netflix, claiming the studio recklessly and negligently failed to protect the confidentiality and security of the master copy of the film Fortitude, which was stolen from its offices when some hard drives were swiped. Netflix provided us with a lengthy statement. We have declined to share anything about our ongoing investigation, including immediately demanding $165 million for the film rather than work with us in good faith. Neither AFREM nor Netflix appeared to disagree about the broad strokes of the bizarre circumstances regarding the missing film. This is crazy. The film was stolen from Netflix. On June 15th, associate producer hand-delivered an unencrypted digital cinema package of Simon West-directed World War II thriller to Netflix at the streamer's request, a standard transaction that takes place when distributors are interested in buying a film and ask for a version that is suitable for use in a commercial theater. Within 24 hours, Netflix executives screened the film. But on June 25th, a Netflix executive sent a shocking email to two members of the Fortitude film team, saying that they don't know where it went. They don't know what happened to it. So this is the first for us. Unfortunately, someone stole a good amount of drives from our office desk this past week. We've been working through with our security teams with no luck. Our piracy teams are on high alert with the breach and will monitor. Oh, man. So other movies are stolen. According to the lawsuit, they'd given Netflix explicit instructions, both verbally and in writing, that files be deleted after screening. So for screening purposes, the files on the DCP contained the film would be copied or ingested into the projector used to screen the film. Thus, Mr. Hato was requesting that Netflix delete the files from its projector. Also be notified as soon as the drive was ready for pickup. Hato made repeated attempts to schedule a pickup and was allegedly ignored or stalled until June 25th. It's unclear what transpired behind the scenes over the next 5 weeks, but on June 30th, they sued Netflix for $105 million. Wow. So the suit claimed Netflix refused to confirm whether or not it had filed a police report, despite the fact that an executive acknowledged in writing that a theft had occurred. The lawsuit claimed that Netflix also rebuffed the filmmaker's request that the studio involved the LAPD. Netflix said it disputes any claim that it bears the risk of loss. It's crazy. Why? What's wrong on Rumble, Joe? What happened? Something happened on Rumble? Oh, it's crazy. Netflix is a very large publicly traded company and is very sophisticated. It has a sizable in-house legal department as well as outside counsel. So it was a planned, crafted, and very intentional statement made by a sophisticated party that knowingly accused Afram's law firm very publicly of committing the serious crime of attempted extortion. It's much harder to steal big cans of film. Afram's not asking for additional damages at this time. I hope he gets the money. So Netflix is painted the litigation as a money grab. So, but Afram is known in the film finance circles to be a billionaire, and Fortitude represented a 7-year passion project for him. The film marks a re-teaming between Cage and West, who previously collaborated on Con Air. The film stars Ben Kingsley and Ron Perlman, Matthew Good, Michael Sheen, Art Malek, all these other people. Wow. The legal team is citing the Serenity Investments versus Sun Hung Kai capital case, which also occurred in Central District of California, to demonstrate the liability should apply here. And his company, Op Fortitude, are being repped by attorneys Mankey and McAndrew at Ackerman and Neville Johnson. So Afram's attorney declined to comment. So a film got stolen, and so they have to pay him for it? Wow. Abu Sayed, 51%. Haley Stevens, 44%. Well, that's what happens. France wildfires reveal hundreds of World War II shells in a village. Uh-oh. That ain't good. That ain't good. So, wildfires in the south of France have revealed a cache of 400 historic shells and munitions in the village of Le Porche. Blasts during the fires, initially thought to be exploding gas cylinders, may have been World War II explosives detonated by the heat. More than 100 explosions were heard the second night of the fire. It sounded like war. Demining operations have now seen most residents return to their homes. However, the mayor has not said certain areas are still off limits. More than 180 houses were destroyed. There were ammunition depots buried in land within our municipality but we didn't know about it, and they exploded. So there were ammunition depots buried that they didn't know about. Oh my God. Dang. He described them going to the right and to the left, and that there was one that went through a house. In a statement, the mayor wrote that access to the ocean, a campsite, and the village has remained off limits. The historic weapons were both German and French and included mortar shells, anti-tank shells. The discovery comes after a forest fire ravaged the Gironde area, which was been brought under control after burning for 10 days. Pictures from Monday showed families picking up the burned remains of their homes. Wow. That's crazy. On Monday, Prime Minister Sébastien Lecornu thanked firefighters. He highlighted the battle against the fires and entered a new phase. France was one of the worst affected regions. That's crazy. That just had shells that nobody knew about there. Yeah. Still digging up munitions from World War I. It's crazy, isn't it? They had them buried there. Just hanging out, buried. Kind of crazy. It says, young woman shares disturbing details of child migrant program under Biden's HHS Secretary Javier Becerra that led her straight into the hands of child traffickers. Wow. This guy, running for governor, I believe. So she was placed with a sponsor, an adult provider to act as her legal guardian. After she got in the car, they told her, you're going to stay here, but from today, you're going to start working. She spent 20 hours a day, 7 days a week, making tortillas and food while being deprived of food and water. Wow. They kept me like a slave. Wow.
Por la administración de Javier Becerra, yo he sido abusada sexualmente. Y yo me dormía en un piso.
Yes, Mary, I missed you.
En un cuarto con 4 muchachos. Un hombre borracho entró en la casa y se quedó a dormir conmigo y me quería violar. Ella, déjalo porque es borracho y él no sabe lo que hace, me decía la señora. Y Javier Becerra nos falló, me falló a mí.
Oye, Javier Becerra. Wow, this is crazy.
Yo, Juana Rebeca Pérez Santa, yo tenía 17 años cuando crucé la frontera desde los Estados Unidos.
¿Cuándo?
Y yo terminé a mano de traficantes de niños.
It's crazy. Insane.
Una señora me acompañó, como es una trabajadora social, me acompañó en los aeropuertos y nomás me dejó ahí. Estaba yo solita, entonces yo hice esa llamada y llamé la traficante de niños. Solo que hay 3 muchachos que van por ti y ellos son los que van a recibirte. Y ya después llegaron los muchachos y ellos levantaron la mano y nos subimos en el carro. Tú te vas a quedar aquí, pero ya desde hoy vas a empezar a trabajar, me dijo ella. Vas a empezar a hacer tortilla y la comida. Siempre trabajaba como 20 horas. Ella no me daba nada de comer, ni me decía nada de que si podía yo agarrar agua. Solo me decía que trabaja y trabaja. Y ya llegando a las 8 de la mañana me duermo 1 hora nomás y me levanto de nuevo. Entonces ella no me daba ni un día de descanso. Ella nunca me dio ni un día de descanso. Siempre empiezo hasta lunes a domingo. Me daba miedo de tocar porque a veces regaña mucho si tocamos las cosas de ella. Entonces me daba miedo de agarrar agua. Ella nunca me pagó y las amenazas que me hacía ella, me amenazaba si con dejarla a ella. Ella me decía que te puedo deportar cuando yo quiera. La señora me dijo que me podía quedar a dormir ahí en el piso. Y yo me dormía en un piso de cerámico, en un cuarto con 4 muchachos que estaban durmiendo ahí y ellos tenían cama y yo me dormía ahí al ladito de la cama de ellos. Y yo tenía mucho miedo de que algo me pasara a mí. El peor momento donde estuve ahí en la casa de mi patrocinadora es cuando un hombre borracho entró en la casa y se quedó a dormir conmigo y me quería violar. Entonces,
why aren't some people being prosecuted, Joe? This is the thing. Like, any of these politicians that participated in this, in my opinion, should be prosecuted along with the people who did this stuff.
Él me estaba quitando la cobija y yo no sabía qué estaba haciendo. Y yo cuando me desperté y vi que, wow, y ese hombre que hace ahí, dije yo, y me levanté y toqué la puerta de mi patrocinadora, según. Lo toqué la puerta y le dije que yo no sé qué hace ese hombre ahí, yo que me duermo ahí, le dije yo, y ella, déjalo porque es borracho y él no sabe lo que hace, me decía la señora.
Can you explain specifically how you
Oh.
feel that Javier Becerra failed.
Seriously, Perez Hilton had a psychotic break on TikTok Live and possibly Minecrafted himself. I did my part. I was not liked in the ORR. Trust me, Office of Resettlement, Refugee and Resettlement. Wow, this is crazy.
You.
Javier Becerra me falló porque él nunca le importó mi seguridad, porque yo llegué a manos de traficantes de niños y casi me violan, me tenían como una esclava y no me dejaban hablar más con mis familias. Si Javier Becerra llegara a gobernar de California, es horrible porque no me gustaría a mí que le pasara a otros niños. Javier Becerra, si tú estás escuchando eso, ¿por qué no me protegiste a mí?
Wow. So it says obituary channel online. Perez Hilton cutting himself. Oh my God. So that happened, huh? Oh, it says dangerous site, so I don't know. So Mike Rose anti-communism message on Twitter goes viral. They are literally quoting Karl Marx. So I'm not what you call a keen observer of political climate, but I do pay attention to what's going on with our two parties. Oh, well, we can't watch that. So I know there's a difference. I understand. So not by the way I was planning on spending my afternoon. But 7,600 comments should not be ignored. Bots, trolls, and personal attacks notwithstanding. The critics of yesterday's post were dominated with a large vocal contingent of Russia. Remind me, there's a difference between socialism and communism. You don't know the difference between democratic socialism and communism. Yeah, I know there's a difference. I understand what the difference is. The larger point is the flaw with your comment. You believe candidates within the DSA are democratic and socialist simply because of their name of their club. Maybe some of them are. The rest aren't. Yeah, these people are all crazy. So several differences, but the only one relative to this conversation is the fact that communists currently running for office have clearly identified themselves as such. Yeah, so. Wow, man, this is just on and on and on and on and on. Wow. So there's a difference between communism and socialism, except there's no difference except the means of achieving the same end. Communism proposes to enslavement by force, socialism by vote. It's merely the difference between murder and suicide. Ayn Rand. That is true. That is true. Are you crazy? Joe Manchin erupts after Margaret Bennett claims socialists have good ideas. That the obituary channel may have just given my phone a virus, got weird message and screen. Yeah, it blocked it. Wouldn't even let me pull it up. Times now. Perez Hilton harms himself on TikTok Live. Wow. That's crazy. Look at his face. And these are crazy commies. All of these people.
Heather, could you ever support a self-described socialist candidate?
No way. My God, no.
And even if they have some good ideas?
I support the good ideas, but how could you support some of the crazy stuff they're for? Have you seen their platform? They're for dismantling everything that we know, whether it be the structure of government, Congress itself, or the Senate they want to get rid of. And then they start talking about all the crazy things. No police, no this, no that. Are you crazy? We want a crime-free area. We have to have police for that.
Yes.
We want a strong defense. We want a strong border. But if Democrats can't say that, and they start lining up with the socialist demands of what you are to be a socialist, energy will be gone. There'll be no energy, okay? We have right now a tremendous amount of energy we're producing, and the world depends more on us than ever before. We can do more.
Wow. Yeah, they're all crazy. It's a creep site. Brave shields were ups and no pop-ups. All right. Wow. So, yeah, American blogger Perez Hilton harms himself live on TikTok. No word on current conditions. Was he covered in blood and stuff? What is going on here? So he appeared to harm himself during a TikTok live. He was also heard saying, "I'm not dead yet," before saying, "I want to be dead." Wow. So social media claims that Hilton barricaded himself inside his home in Miami. They claimed a SWAT team was outside Hilton's home, and the situation is an active hostage situation. Was it a hostage situation? So authorities say they have not released an official statement. So Perez-born Mario Armando Lavandera Jr. is a blogger. He rose to prominence in the mid-2000s and written 4 books. Well, I guess we don't want him. We want him to be safe. He was covered in blood. It's kind of what it looks like. Kind of what it looks like. So, you notice how the USDT vote is gone and fraud is still going. Suddenly the Democrats are broke. It is crazy, isn't it? It's all over X. All right, socialist means communist. Yeah, it does. They're the same thing. They're the same thing. Communists do it by the barrel of the gun. Socialists do it by tricking you into voting for it. Well, everybody, we didn't hit the goal for the second hour. I want to thank everybody who is here. Please remind you all to hit the like button. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And please come back tomorrow for Jim to tell you the news.